FIHL. TCOM. LYV. SMCI. BABA. KGC. LI. GFS. CYTO. FFIE. XP. RDDT. ELF. TCOM. SMCI. NU. BABA. KGC.
TITN.
If you think day trading is random gambling, I'm about to prove you wrong and show you how I get results like this on a consistent basis.
Here on AMD, this is a very topping move here at that 1040. I'm going to trail this to 171.65. That's intense. I am on the offer of Polestar as well. I might have briefly said that when Randy was here, but that's in front of $1. If that pops in, I'm shorting $1. If it gets out past there, like what? Yeah.
Oh man.
Nvidia being at 1,040 is a little bit surprising to me. I thought there'd be a dip before this rip, and it just never happened.
Yeah, there's no like yesterday we punched along. You should just stick with the same strategies every day, honestly. Yesterday it didn't work out. Today it was a monster move for Nvidia. So I mean, you just punched that pre-market high. You're long at 1025 right now, and you're still going. So look at that stock. Look at it go. What a name. Just dropped down a little bit right there, but still. Aggressive play. You're going to get traders that are going to like market out of some of these. So sometimes you will get dips down of a couple points like that. That's just the way it's going to trade, man. I mean, if you're looking at NVDL as well, that could be something that some traders have looked at. 51 and rocking right now on
may resume in less than a minute.
Everything's going fine. We're down $1 right now on Tesla as it comes into 178 right now. We're long at 170. Well, yeah, we're down $1. Yeah, we're long at 179.80s. Our last fill was right here at 179. So let's wait. I mean, we have a 178 area here. We've been wrong on Tesla, obviously, but the market's been getting hit. So hopefully there will find some support in and around 178, and that would be the chance there for Tesla. So we'll wait to see if there is support down here or not. Not going to average into this one, trading a falling knife here. So it's funny because we missed that Apple trade by, I think it was 3 cents. No, 1 cent. We were at 67 when it was at 66, and we were telling you that. So now Apple pulling back in as well. I don't really want to average in too much here, man, because we're long Apple and we're long Tesla, and right now the market's just trying to figure itself out. So what's up, Adara?
Another name running here that was mentioned a little bit earlier is DELL, Dell here. A little bit of this, what I'm seeing could be an NVIDIA sympathy play with regards to AI. But they also did have an announcement with Ericsson with this partnership to combine and accelerate their telecom network cloud formation. Also worth noting, too, Dell does report next week. So DELL on watch, guys.
Yeah, if you thought earnings season was completely over, you'd be incorrect. There's still some names to report. So I got out of Tesla when it didn't hold at 180. Got out right here under the 50s. I'm on the bid for the 78 level. You said I wanted to take 2 shots at this at 2 separate levels. It looks like we have a chance to get the second one. Just a couple of things here. AMD. When I saw NVIDIA make that push to 140 and start pulling back in, I was like, okay, let's just take that and run, because I didn't expect NVIDIA breaking the top, and that was a $10 move up. So if we get another dip, I'm going to be buying dips on this name if we can get it. Li Auto did come in on the 20 break, but I got 95s. 1995 on slippage, and then it just basically stopped moving. So I got out of this. If it's holding 20, I don't want any part of this. I'm going to let it calm down and get underneath 20. I actually even said close underneath $20 and took the breakdown trade anyways. But I do feel pretty bearish on this stock overall. There is a move happening on that FFIE. I'll get to that, but Tesla looks like that 178 is definitely incoming. Oh, and I've canceled my breakout order on ARM because while NVIDIA and AMD went up, ARM actually came back down and has not really bounced yet. So no breakout for ARM today, at least.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we're
ETRN.
doing too many flattering things here for the longs. I mean, Apple is now 30 cents out. It just broke 190. We were looking long today, and I don't want to give up just because the market came in like this, but it's now underneath, whatever. I mean, I don't think 19,000, that was such a huge number there. I don't know if we can get back up to that, but we are starting to fade out right now. And again, look at this market starting to head
BCG.
lower. Apple bounced a little bit there, but I'm sure this is a story that is very, very much related to NVIDIA, but
GCOM.
it's actually still holding out pretty high right now.
OKLO.
So, I don't know. There goes
FFIE.
NVIDIA back up to the upside. It's really just Tesla.
Starbucks.
Yeah, I
mRNA.
mean, I heard that about Starbucks, but the thing is, Starbucks is so off right now. It's been, I already nailed this one at
CYTO.
$72. I'm not even long. We both talked about that. We really like that level. Starbucks starting to go back up to the upside with some
FLJ.
possible
Too late now.
activist interventions here into Starbucks, but we're long Palantir as well. Everything's coming in like real quick now, so we're gonna have to
CMTL.
watch out now. Tesla's
PEV.
coming into that 178, so
AGBA.
we just get a long down here at 178.40
FFIE.
to give us an average price of 179.40. So we're out $1 right now on Tesla.
TCOM.
I just canceled my
RL.
PSNY offer because I was going to short 97s. It's at 80 cents already. So when you delay your earnings, that's not good. This is Starbucks. It's basically flat on the day, but it did make a bit of a bounce on that Pershing Square news. But Tesla gets into 178. 178.36 is what I got. We get up, get to 79 here. I'm going to get on the offer in the 90s and
back
try to
up?
take some. It's right back to 178,
FFIE.
85s. There we go. There's that last push into the 90s.
Go, you
so
son
just
of
got some
a-
out. And in the same moment, I
mRNA.
just re-entered Li Auto short, which is fine because Li Auto is different from Tesla as far as I'm concerned. So second level 178 looks like it wants to hold. But I'm so surprised by what's going on in ARM
TCOM.
here. This is now a weak stock. I thought I'd cancel that breakout order. That's stair stepping down. If NVIDIA gives it up and ends up underneath that breakout price, ARM might be a great short. That's not where I thought this was going to be going today, but it had to point that out. I'm now short at a worse price on Li Auto. I got back in when it showed weakness underneath that $20 level, so we're going to be back into the short side. I'm going to check out Alibaba in a second, but back over to AMD because the chips are where it's at. Look at it hold up. I was just bidding for a reload in front of 170, and this just tagged 170.50 and continued higher. So there's the wick under VWAP, like a pretty large one. If this can hold a higher low, I'd much prefer this if the market was holding up better. But we're still tanking.
But it's
The
not.
notion of getting on the bid
SOXS.
here out in front of the support level seems a little bit nuts to me. So I'm going to back off, let things calm down a bit because we haven't really found much of a bottom on the futures
BABA.
overall. You're wondering how can we be down if NVIDIA is up and AMD's up? Microsoft, which was storming, almost flat on the day
YSG.
now.
Go, go, go. We are going to have, hopefully, a monster here in Tesla if it continues to go
RNAZ.
higher, man. I mean, let's go. We're going to put this into PL1 in just a couple seconds. Go, Tesla. I mean, this is a level that we've watched down in here. We talked about that 180,
SOXS.
178, waited for this
CYTO.
name to finally start popping off, so hopefully that can't exactly do that. Everything else is not really doing anything for us right now, and it's been a very, very
BABA.
slow grind to the downside, which has given us an opportunity to get some of these prices, but at the same point, I mean, if the prices
DABA.
aren't going to fill,
BE.
or they're going to fill and then just continue to push against you, then you don't have good trades on board. So right now, we're going to hold on for Amazon. It came into that 183. I liked it because I was like, wow, if we could dip into 183, we'll take that. We were very, very biased long, but we're not caught. So that's the
CYTO.
thing. We're not really caught in anything here. Amazon's right here at 183, so that's been fine. We are waiting for 182. We nailed this trade numerous times yesterday back
GCOM.
upside, so we're going to give it some love back into 182 if we do get down there on Amazon. So right now we're just
BABA.
kind of holding out. It's Apple. That's the one that's a problem. Breaking now below 190 and holding lower than that. So what's up, Adara?
News on Starbucks here, SBUX. So report here by Gordon
RL.
Haskett that Pershing Square, which is Bill Ackman's
BE.
fund, is looking to potentially
BJ.
go have an activist investment here in Starbucks. So that's all the details here. Just to clarify, Bill Ackman's fund, Pershing Square, SBUX, maybe guys.
VFC did the SSR bounce. So it had to get to $11. Remember we said this had bounced so far that it wasn't down 10%? It had to get to $11.10 right at the open. It got SSR, held $11 even to the penny, and is making the bounce here. So if you're looking at that play, that one
Okay,
definitely worked out. FFIE just popped on the radar here. As it's starting, yeah, up 20%. It held $1 yesterday, went to $1.50. So check that, $1.47. Now bouncing off VWAP. Let's go to Adara. We've got some economic data, but I'm looking to dip by in FFIE.
What just happened there?
We do have some economic data here. We just got in these S&P PMI flash numbers. Global services PMI flash 54.8, above the expected 51.3. We have global composite PMI flash 54.4 versus 51.4 expected, so that's also going to be higher than expected, and we're just waiting on that last number here. Global manufacturing PMI flash, let's see if I can find this one here. Coming in, global manufacturing PMI flash 50.9, so also a little bit higher than the 50 expected. S&P not really reacting right now, continuing to chop and churn around that 531 level here, guys.
So we got stopped out of our Palantir there because it just came crashing in on that PMI number. So we'll try it again here at 21, but just because that was a very, very aggressive move back in just a couple pennies, and we're out of this one. We're not going to just layer into these trades as they don't work. When we get a negative number there, the PMI was better than expected, which is not great because all of a sudden now PMI, which has been coming, some of these inflation data points have been coming cooler. Now we get one that's hotter. So we don't like that coming through. But we did it. We were able just to get Amazon at a better price, hopefully. I feel really silly that I'm just looking over here and I'm not looking at AMD or NVIDIA and all that kind of stuff.
NVIDIA's going to go right back to the high.
Yeah, okay, so there we go. So Palantir out of there. That's going to be my worst stock. The only stock that we've been hit on so far is Palantir. But we do still have this Tesla position, which we bought some more down low. So Shorty got low, 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 low.
You forgot the apple bottom jeans.
Well, the apple bottom jeans, that's what I was waiting for. The apple bottom jeans is are not looking like to have that much fur there. What's up, Randy?
Shorty, yo, Randy's all about that song, right?
Here we go. Yeah, because he really knows what that is. Here we go. Apple right now, 189.50. Let's see if we can get it back, man. That Palantir trade, really the only one that's been bad for us. Here goes Amazon. Nice upside move. Come on, Tesla. You can do this, man. Do this damn thing. We just bought it again down there at 179. Come on, Tesla. Electrify this market, my guy.
Oh, my goodness. Highs of the day on NVIDIA. AMD just blew out the top 173. I got Tesla looking for VWAP, a retracement. We're in FFIE, but the story is the chips. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is AMD punching through those highs. It's an absolute moonshot. Remember, the futures are still down. I mean, the NASDAQ is pulled back in the very slight bounce at 18.9. Like, we're still looking relatively weak. Like I said, I'm looking for VWAP on Tesla. First time we took a hit, waited for the 178, just reloaded, took some out the $0.50, but you're still looking pretty heavy on the futures. So a pretty unfortunate day for anything that is not chip-related. Oh,
BJ.
Wrong. Alibaba just went green.
RENB.
So Baba caught a huge bit. I was looking at the $80 level. It bounced at 81, so no trade for me. I'll look for VWAP to join that trend, if we even can. There's no guarantees. Speaking of VWAP, just got some in front of VWAP in 130 on FFI. It hasn't quite gotten to the 130 level, but we are having a look there. And Randy was just here, and we're going to talk about, I was going to make a joke about, well, I don't want to joke about Polestar. Whatever. It is what it is. 80 cents, that's something.
Yeah, I mean, the guy has 6 million shares. 80 cents? Okay, yeah.
Well,
maybe we should
he
tell
came
him
in,
about that.
check that, 77 cents.
What?
Polestar is
what was
absolutely
the news about Polestar?
They delayed their earnings. If you fail $1 the day before, and then you delay your earnings,
at 9 hours, 52
maybe,
minutes and 52
just
seconds.
maybe, and I'm just throwing this out there. Yeah, I'm just sort of throwing this out there for an idea. Maybe that was a short. It could have possibly maybe been a short. I even paid for the fails on me because I paid for locates and was on the offer. Sometimes you just have to sit in the stock in the pre-market because if it opens up and everyone tries to dump on news like that, you might not be able to get in. But when there's no volume, I was thrown by the fact that there was no volume in the pre-market and thought I could get cheeky with it. I was wrong.
Yeah,
executed.
Get cheeky with it. All right, so.
Well, that's even getting worse.
So really the only thing right now, I mean, Tesla seems to be fine. It's Apple, right? I mean, this is the name that continues to go down. And I was trying to find stops for this. And honestly, like I was not, this kind of a candle to the downside.
SOXS.
we're right into support that I would be like, okay, you know, this is really where we like it, but it's just getting worse. Like, this market's not stopping right now. It is heading lower, lower, lower. So I feel like we're going to have to bail something on 189, man, because, like, if this just continues to break, we can't just layer into all these trades. It's 9.49 right now. Thank you, Randy, for that. Polestar's down to 70 cents right now, so that's an absolute disaster right here. No, he did say no. There is no... There is
Snowflake is getting
doubt
rugged
about that.
CGTX.
Oh, great. We're already got rugged on Palantir right now. Look at this one, just a straight fire to the downside right there. But the good thing about this one, Randy, is we were pretty patient, man. We didn't start getting long until 21. Then when it broke, it was a savage move. Where's Adara? She missed that one. 21 was a savage move, I said. That's her favorite. I think that's one of her favorite current rappers out right now. So,
yes.
So okay, here we go. Palantir, nice break of 21, and we're just gonna wait now. Amazon's back down to 182. I have a stop of breaking 182 on Amazon. We're not exactly layered into this too much yet. We were able to get something out there at 183 at least on Amazon right there. So we've already got this bump once. I'm not gonna average back into Amazon down here unless we get a little bit lower than where we are right now. We're just sitting in pretty long.
Bitcoin's tanking. The futures are tanking. Mars down 6% right now. Coinbase is down 4%.
Lead your best life with new skills from Udemy. Grow your career and pursue your passions by learning just about anything from real-world experts.
Like, that's about it. FFIE just came out. So the only things that have worked for me are like the Tesla long 78 and then the AMD dip buy, which we might get 170s again. So if FFIE doesn't hold VWAP, if it can reestablish, great. I'll let this one calm back down. If the market continues to head down, it might be like a meme long day if that's all we're able to get. Nvidia is holding up pretty nicely. Like, look at it consolidate VWAP. That's where the strength is in this market. So AMD right back in. This is the 170 level where it bounced off 170s, and I went for the long. So if it can bounce there, we'll look at that again. AMA, I did mention Ford had support on the daily at 12, but that was more like thinking about whether I wanted to like do some kind of a swing trade in my personal account. I wasn't looking to day trade Ford off the 12 level. I would imagine if it's at a support level, it's probably testing it because the market's tanking.
The only thing I should be doing with Ford is selling it, honestly. I mean, that stock just sits there for years and years.
SWIN may resume in less than a minute.
Man. Just to have switched over to Tesla would have been much, much better, but what are you going to do? All right, so Apple, I just took some out here at 50s. So we're long at 80s. I don't... You know, the market is not coming back, it doesn't look like right now. So, yeah, a little bit of a downside move here. Take advantage to get some out of Apple. We're still holding out on Amazon, but yeah, Elon, hello, Elon, what's going on?
LYB.
As this continues to go down, we're about to get out on a 177.75 break for Tesla. Let's take some pressure off a little bit at 97 if we can, but Tesla, there it goes. We just took out like 5% there. Hopefully we can get a bounce back here now. But my stop almost got triggered there. We were pennies away from that trigger. So let's just, you know, here it is, going to trigger out now. So Tesla wrong on this call. We'll dump that. There goes Tesla back down to the downside. We'll hold a little bit of it, but definitely able to get some out here. But
I think there's news on Tesla.
There's news on Tesla all of a sudden?
Oh,
okay, well, that doesn't help. What's up?
So basically what I'm seeing here with Tesla is that in its latest impact report, it's omitted its 2030 sales goal. So why that's significant is because Tesla previously had a goal of selling 20 million cars by 2030. So the fact that this has now been omitted from the latest impact report is, I guess, causing a little bit of alarm here, guys.
It's my coffee.
That's yours?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's fine.
No, because I think it's mine.
No, it's
too late.
No, it's yours. It's yours, man. It's all good.
Yeah, it's mine.
No, I saw the coffee still there, and I was just like, oh, Randy.
Yeah. Normally I take it. Then when you said that, I was like, wait a second, I never grabbed my coffee.
So with that, like obviously, you know, I didn't hear that in my ear, but I had just seen that same story seconds as Adara was bringing it. So I had already reloaded. Unfortunately, I had just reloaded Tesla off the support level, and then I saw it, so it was like an immediate stop out. Remember when I said it was the only thing that was working? Well, if I don't take that reload, it still would have been. But like just as I got into it, what are you gonna do? Like that's gonna put me red, no question about it. But
LYB.
A couple of seconds earlier, and I probably don't do that reload when I see that story on Tesla. I'm not in anything anymore because if you're thinking bullish, Well, AMD gave me the dip buy and then broke higher, and the next level was 168. It just got there now. So, I mean, AMD didn't even get down to that level until a couple of seconds ago, and I wasn't going to reload it unless it bounced at 170. So the 168 level coming into play. I'm sitting down here at 32, so hopefully we get some magic love and can pick that one up. But everything else looks weak. It's like, where would I even consider going short? Well, Intel was relatively weak, but am I shorting the low of the day? No. I'll short a pop into VWAP. ARM was relatively weak, but where am I supposed to get into this thing? Chase the bottom?
Nowhere.
No. You know, sometimes you just got to suck it up, buttercup, and what you wanted to do isn't necessarily happening. I even didn't even win on the Li Auto short. I'll get back to that in a second.
Just came into
but AMD just came into that 168 level. Quick time.
Yeah, that was pronto. We're long 168 right now. This was, again, a level that we thought we liked. That Tesla really sucked, man. We lost half of our, more than half of our day on that one Tesla move.
Well, if you think about it as a trader, like the worst possible thing that can happen is a stock gets to your stock goes to your buy level at the same moment bad news. What are you going to do? Because I was on the bid and then I saw the story after I was filled. What are you supposed to do?
Day trading is, you know, everything's rigged against you. You just have to try to investing. You have all the advantages as an investor, all the advantages because time is on your side. So we've already proven that over time, you know, buying index funds and all that kind of, I didn't prove anything, the market proved it, that's a healthy strategy. Day trading, everything is rigged against you because you don't have as much information as anybody else. You don't have as fast opportunities with your platform as everybody else. And you don't have an unlimited amount of time to hold on to trades like potentially others do. So it's just
algos are plugged into these news things.
That's what I'm saying.
Like we have to hear it and hit a key. The algos essentially can fire the order, getting the news digitally, reading the headline. Like you have to understand. So when that happened, it was immediately out. So we just broke down underneath that 168. So I tried the second level on AMD. That came out. If we reestablish 168, that's the level I like. So I don't mind getting back in if it can show me more strength down there. But just sitting here and catching the falling knife is getting dangerous because we're now at 18.85 on the NASDAQ and still falling. NVIDIA is threatening giving up VWAP. It hasn't done so yet, but it's certainly threatening to do so. At this point, like Baba's at VWAP, it's like, do I even really want Alibaba? Usually that's an absolute no-brainer. I look over at are the meme stocks going?
The market should bounce here at some point.
Well, I'm thinking we should bounce somewhere, but I'm looking for it to happen and then join a bounce as opposed to try and sit on the falling sword. No VWAP on FFIE. It's not bouncing at $1. If it gets to $1 again, I'd probably defend it. But the stock that's at the level would be AMD in that 168. So that's where I want to look. I have my eyes on NVIDIA. If NVIDIA is really losing it on the bid, then obviously I'm not going to be a huge fan of those levels. Oh, there was something else that I wanted to get to. Can't talk to chips without TSM. TSM, MOD. If it goes red today, well, NVIDIA's still up. That would be a little bit shocking. I didn't think that was even a remote chance. I didn't even bother mentioning it. $156 would be the level on TSM. But that wasn't in my notes. I'm like, yeah, we're not going to get to 56. So why bother saying it? Oh, we're $1 away.
NKGN.
Right. We've been averaging into Amazon, which has been working. Apple's just hanging out, so we're waiting for that one. Amazon's just right here right now. I mean, we haven't been really averaging in per se. We have one bid at 50, another bid there at 65 or something. As I just said, let's go for it. We have new home sales coming up right now, and that should be interesting. I don't know if that's necessarily going to move the market too much. If anything, that bad PMI number seems to have really a good PMI number, but higher than expected. So bad for people looking at inflation, because if that continues to go higher, then we're going to have to watch out for that possible rate cut talk
NKGN.
one more time coming through. So, all right, I mean, we're long AMD here as well. We wrote down 168. We got 167.
BCG may resume in less than a minute.
We're flat on this trade. We were trying to buy some more down there at 167, but AMD is taking a nap right now at this level, trying to figure out what it wants to do, because I'm going to look over at NVIDIA right now. That's doing the same thing. It just bounced off 1025. So I feel like we're just waiting to see what happens here to react to what's happening over here. So here comes AMD back down in again. We're still waiting for some more trades. There we go. We just got 167 flat. So, all right, our trade is now 167.50s. Let's see if it now bounces back up to the upside. Quick check on friend. NVIDIA 130 would be nice to get that break right now, as we are juiced up now on AMD, man. We're like Jose Canseco over here. What's going on with Amazon, though, as Mark McGuire's getting juiced on this side. Here we go, 183.03. All right, this is the Barry Bonds right now, as Amazon getting going back up to the upside. Boom. I think I'm only going to have one green name here today, and that is going to be Amazon. So let's hopefully going to be Amazon. AMD, fingers crossed, that one can get going as well. But who's always ready to go is Adara at the desk.
Just waiting on those new home sales numbers here. We just got them in, 634,000, so slightly lower here than consensus of 0.68 million, so 68,000, and then we're 680,000, sorry. New home sales, negative 4.7% versus forecast of negative 1.4%, so lower here than expected as well. A little bit of a turn here. We're seeing a little bit of a base on the S&P 500. Pretty much flat in the day. NASDAQ slightly stronger. A lot of the gains in this market today have been led and buoyed by some of these semiconductor-related stocks. We had some positive news with regards to TSM, also NVIDIA, and its earnings above $1,000 for the first time.
TDD.
So lots of excitement in the tech space. But what other names are moving today? We do have ALF, another earnings play, currently up about 15% despite some early weakness. The earnings were pretty good. Guidance was not. It came in below expectations, but recovering very nicely here, up 15% for ELF. Last but not least, here we also have Snowflake, SNOW. They had a revenue beaten EPS miss.
BDRX.
They actually initially were trading higher, but now trading a little bit lower here for Snowflake, guys.
Let it snow, apparently. If you want it to fall to the downside, that's essentially what you're getting. I did get Alibaba off of VWAP, so first trade here is not going to be the dip buy at 80. It's going to be the dip buy into VWAP. I scalped some out at the quarters, looking to reload off of VWAP. And then, look, AMD waited for it, and sometimes, like you say, sometimes you take it in the other direction. Well, it bounced off. It did not bounce well off 168. It made a bottom at 67. Then you get a little something here with a higher low, which is what I just moved on over to. I still like the notion of FFIE. I'm not on the bid just yet, but it's starting to hold the 1/4 level. And if looking for a short, I said I paid for locates on PSNY and then did nothing about it. PSNY is getting close to VWAP in here, so I am looking for short the pop situation on Polestar. It's SSR, so I'll let it kind of make a move up and then work back in. Wow. I just
40s, unbelievable.
I just got a reload in Alibaba and then it lost VWAP, like immediately.
Oh,
wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And AMD just lost 167.
Yeah.
It's one of these kind of days. Fail. And the worst part about it is the easiest trade was probably just Polestar short.
SWIN may resume in less than a minute.
Like, this was probably the easiest trade that was out there. I have the locates. Because it's SSR, there's like a 1.5 cent spread as well, so you can't hit the bid on the way down. So I'm going to have to get on the offer, I just realized, and then try and take it through me, meaning like you sit on the offer, it has to print through you, because there needs to be an uptick in order to get filled. But the first time is VWAP here at 85.
All right, yeah, AMD just lost it right there. We got out at 166, basically a 167 break there. But, you know, fighting this has not been a winning strategy. So we'll get some here, but yeah, you know, too much more lower than where we are. What am I on? Amazon, sorry. Too much more on AMD, and we're going to get out of that. It really sucks because we were on Amazon, and I was trying to let it go. We were at 183.40. Like, you could see why we'd be there. These are these levels. It came right back into there, touched it, and then fell back in. And then I tried to punch some 23s. I even tried some 15s there to get out of some of this one as we go. So, look, man, I mean, I'm here to tell you, I am now 0 for 5 today. And let's see if we can get something going now. I mean, Amazon's flat, so we're going to, you know, but the thing is that we took the hit here on Tesla. And thank God we did, because that's even lower. Palantir still straight to the downside right now. Amazon, I mean, we were long biased. So when you're long biased and the market's fallen 1%, I mean, that is not good. And we came in here, as we said, possibly with rose-colored glasses on as well. But I mean, I don't know. You've been mentioning it today, but it's been a rough day. Everybody in the chat there.
Of course it is. Yeah. I mean, look, if you're bearish today, you're laughing. You know, like obviously, if you, like I said, there was.
Let's go.
The easiest trade was like short PSNY, but I just looked at Rivian. Rivian's back at $10. Like, are you kidding me? That $10 level that held 3 times. So it's not quite there, but I will be involved if it holds the $10 level. I couldn't even get into PSNY, by the way. I said you have to sit on the offer, have it come through you. I got absolutely nothing. I chased it to 82 for a third of the size, and I'm just sitting on the offer. I just need to get filled. Clearly, when the stock is SSR, it's going to be a little bit tricky
at 10 hours, 8 minutes, and 44
but
seconds.
you are seeing NVIDIA. I know NVIDIA is actually holding VWAP in there.
It's trying to go, right?
So every single time I go back over, and it's like, you're still in the area that I want to be buying AMD,
BCG,
as that is the weak
ZETA.
name. The other one to get over to, I said if we got to VWAP, I would short Intel. It's like, well, you're not getting there. Like, this market is so weak that even the things that I want to join to the short side aren't happening. ONMD is halted. I saw that pop on my scanner as well. I'll get you guys. Juan Hernandez just put it in the chat. Indicated open of $1.50 there. Thank you for fixing my mic. I realized I had it the wrong way. ONMD, 148 halt. The tap was 150. Now it's 148 again. So remember, Luis called out the $2 resistance level on ONMD. If it gets there,
CHWY.
I think that's a big level on the daily chart. Whether or not you take profits there, that's up to you guys. So good luck with ONMD. It seems like the squeeze and short plays
ONMD halted. ONMD will resume at 10 hours, 9 minutes, and 59 seconds.
Yeah, we don't. We're not sure. Look,
all right.
We'll have one, at least we'll have one winner on board here today, as it looks like we are going to go for Amazon again. So Amazon's starting to pump upside right now. So good on us for at least trying to hold a little bit of Amazon and scratch that. We'll actually go 2 for 5 if AMD can go now. So here goes AMD off 167. Let's see if it can fly up there. We just got some nice fills there on AMD. We got 50s. So hopefully or 48s. Hopefully we can continue to go higher there on AMD and Amazon. That one, we just got some O's again on this. This is a positive stock for us, but I mean,
SHLS.
Hard to be super happy when, you know, we've taken $1 hit on Tesla, and this one is like 25 cents in the money, and I'm like, hey, at least we're positive. Like, it's not going. And then Apple right now is in sleeper zone, which is making me very nervous because it should be going up already if it wants to, and it's not. So I'm not sure this wants to go up either. The market is really heavy today. I mean, there's no love right here, despite the love for NVIDIA. I mean, NVIDIA has been great today.
CHWY.
I mean, off VWAP, off the 15. I mean, this is what we wrote down was wait for dips into VWAP. So we should be long. Like, it's just, I'm just not following my own stuff. Wait for dips into VWAP for NVIDIA is what we said. So why am I not long 1027 right now? You know, I mean, that's the VWAP dip in. It's right there. That's what we called. So again, an awesome opportunity there for NVIDIA to have bought and followed simple rules, and we simply didn't do that. So yeah, you deserve to get hit when that happens. All right, so we talked about Amazon possibly being our only green name here, and now it's like right back to flat. Oops, right back to flat again. You need to be able to flip short. Normally we're able to do that. Today, it's like nothing's really breaking. So we've been staying in it. And there goes AMD. Again, we were just like, oh, man, we just got some 50s there. Like, that was 50 cents in the money. And then, boom, 50 cents the other way. So at least we were 1 for 1 there on our risk. But still, look at this name, continuing to puke lower and lower.
And I just looked back at Li Auto. Like, Li Auto's a small hit because I didn't really hold it very far against me, but it shouldn't be a hit at all. And it's not even about that. I should have just taken it. I should have taken it one more time. Like, I like that 20 break. Just have it that last time, and now you're starting to see the fall through to the downside. Like, that's absolutely flushing. There are some we talked about some strong names in the market. Alibaba was holding VWAP. I got out of it when it could no longer hold on to VWAP. Could have just not reloaded the trade, but we did, so it is what it is. But guess what is still better than Alibaba? If you guessed Pinduoduo, you would be right. This is up.
Pinduoduo, I guessed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know. Yeah, right? If I'd given a second, I know you would have guessed it 100%. PDD up 6%, still flying after their report. But the real story here would be NVIDIA up 9% and hunting for a high of the day break into a market which is trying to bounce off of the lows. So that is what it is. And I can't believe this is even the truth, but Google 175 could come into play as well. I said there's some outside levels I didn't think would come into play. I didn't even bother writing them down. 156 TSM and Google 175 would have been the two. But that's what happens when the market goes super bearish and you were bullish. You have to wait for those levels. FFIE, it's trying to put in higher lows. If it can hold on to VWAP, I'm looking to go into the long and trying to catch it on an uptrend instead of the downtrend that it's in. As I said, I am now into PSNY off of VWAP. So no longer the dollar level. If Polestar gets to $1, I'll be well out of that well before it gets there.
So even though the market is bouncing a little bit right now, it's really just, like, I hate looking over and being red and then like NVIDIA, the name that we were really excited to trade, does exactly what we were talking about. That really sucks. All right, so Elf, again, should have just listened to the wife, man. I mean, she is literally undefeated. At like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, she's just like, you should be buying Elf. I mean, it's now up from that point, $17. And how the hell am I going to tell her that I'm down today? She's going to be pissed at this. All right, so here we go. No, just joking. By the way, we did buy the TQs, by the way. So there's a nice little move back up in the futures. I mean, we just hit this one. This is now 30 cents. Starting to make that money back now. So finally, we're starting to get a little bit better. Let's get something. Okay, here we go. Awesome.
Will resume at 10 hours, 14 minutes, and 9 seconds.
A little bit of money getting counted out now on the TQQs. So we'll have two big green names today, right? We'll have now Amazon on the reload. Big trade here for me on Amazon, guys. Big trade right now for Amazon. So that's going to be a good one. Let's see how high we can fly on this one. I'm waiting for 183.23 where we missed last time, but we'll take some outs there. That's where the 50 period is. I'm going to take some more out right now based on the way this day is going. We're going to make sure that we get some out over here right now. And then the TQs is starting to do some damn things right now to the upside here. So we bought some of this dip as we saw the market starting to sort of recover a little bit down there. Buy some of the dips there in the TQQ. So we've got two green names over here right now as we wait to see what happens with Apple. Nice little bounce back in Apple. So let's take something out there because an apple a day has been disastrous for me because right now Apple's starting to continue to the downside. We'll take, see, I put an offer and it just runs away from it. So we're sitting there now around 189.10 to see if we can get some of this out. Hopefully it does bump a little bit so we can take some of this pressure off of these trades. So right now we're waiting for some Apple to bounce up a little bit. We have a shit ton of shares.
Yeah, Carpe Diem relax 1,000%. I like that. I like that. You have to have it on some days, especially when it's going to be rough in the market.
CJET.
You're welcome for the Li Auto short, but I didn't make money on it. The 20 was a good level to break down. I know that stock is weak. We'll look to see if we can join it. I'm only in that PSNY, but I'm now on the bid of AMC. I was asked if I liked AMC at $5 like yesterday. It wasn't holding, like it broke $5 and I wasn't in the break. Now it's starting to pull and dip back into VWAP. So when in a weak market, sometimes I like a little bit of these cheeky small cap names to go into the long. But I look over, I'm glad I stopped fighting AMD. It's just continuing to make fresh lows. I don't know where the bottom's going to be on this one. If TSM wants to get down to 165, then I think that's going to be a play for me. Google as well. I do like some Alphabet, but I want to let it get down closer to 175 if we're going to be able to get into it as well. So these are the days you want to be a little bit patient. AMC just pulling back into $5. As I said, the meme name sometimes in a weak market, when they start to go, they can give you a little bit of a trend. PDD's going as well. Just to check back in on Tesla, then I'm going to go to Rivian, $10. Tesla caught a bid at 176. This isn't the level I was looking for. So I can't tell you that I'm long there. Rivian, however, $10 is a thing, and that just held pretty decently
may resume in less than a minute.
So I might take two shots at this. If it holds 10.10 again, I'll try to get on the way back up, 14s or 15s, and stop at 10.10. Otherwise, we'll wait for the $10 level. But the newest position is another meme name, and it is AMC off of VWAP and $5 here. I haven't checked GameStop. I don't know if that's going. AMC was stronger in the afternoon yesterday anyways.
All right. I just hope that this can show you guys, like, you know, sort of what can happen if and when, you know, some of your stops, you know, trigger. Like if you're going to you know, get hit on a stock like Apple, and we've already sort of talked about all of this. Like, look at Tesla, right? Makes that move down, but you got to get stopped out at some points, right? So we actually got stopped out at 178. We didn't get out of everything. We wound up holding like 25%, so that's why some of those are downside. But that goes all the way down to 176. So whether or not that was a level you're looking at or not, I don't know. But that could be a stopping point there if the market does just make a little bit of a move down, maybe a 176 or so on Tesla. You know, we've been wrong on it, so pick your poison on that one. Apple did break back down below 189, so I got some out there at 97 right here. Actually, we got a couple outs on Apple, didn't we? Yeah, we got some above 189 here as well. So when that made the move back up, still an L right now for us on Apple, but we're going to wait for that one. Palantir, again, you know, have the stops in place. We're out of this one at O's. So this saved us a little bit there, but it's trying to bounce back to the upside here as well. So maybe we will get some pushes happening. Again, a big trade over here for me on the TQQs. It's been tough, man. There's I don't know. I feel like most of these names today have just been sort of in the pocket and trying to figure this out. So we're going to have to be very, very patient with all of this.
BCG.
As we go. So I'll tell you what I'm up today on my stock. So we're going to be 0 for Apple, 0 there, that's 0 for 2, 1 for 2, 1 for 3, 2 for 3, 2 for 4 with Tesla L. So we're going to go 2 and 4. So 2 for 6, I guess. So 4 losing trades, 2 winning trades on board for me over here
at 10 hours, 19 minutes, and 32 seconds.
With Apple and Amazon.
Yeah, I just got into Rivian. So all 3 of the stocks that I'm in right now are not the ones I was trading at the open, because all of those sort of ran stops, past the levels I liked, trending in the wrong direction, and then suddenly we got into levels that I didn't think were going to have happen, like $10 on Rivian. I'll get to ASTI, or maybe some of these other ones. Bavin, I see people in the chat just throwing symbols at us, but you know, I'm looking for some other ideas that we actually liked off levels for the rest of the week that are starting to come into play. So as I said, Rivian 10, AMC in a trend to the upside. We'll keep tracking NVIDIA. I'm not in it. I was actually thinking if we did a dip buy, it would be more along the lines of defending the 10,000. Why do I keep saying 10,000? The $1,000 level, and I was looking at like 994, 995 if we had tested 1,000 on NVIDIA. It just never did any kind of a pullback. Like everything else dipped far enough to get you in, except for NVIDIA. TSM's back at VWAP, so I don't think we're going to get this 156, at least not presently. So I don't mind jumping into this if we start holding VWAP. I do like TSM today. I think it going red if NVIDIA holds up doesn't make a ton of sense. We haven't really talked too much about Snowflake.
BCG.
But it's starting to catch a bit of a bid here as well off the 155. That just, it absolutely tanked. And again, a level that I would have never guessed come back in. 155 support on the daily, the 50 periods here as well. So sometimes the market's going to shock you. And you just have to be able to quickly adjust. So 155 on Snowflake looks like a good spot. It's already bounced one time off that level. ARM and PDD are starting to go. Newest position for me was AMC. And FFIE, I'm not back into it. I told you the condition for getting into that was it holding at about that 130 level where I was long before. So if I can start to do it, I don't mind joining FFIE. It's done 100 million shares. Looks like it's going to have another big volume day.
Okay.
CYTK.
Texas. We can look at some Google, but the market just failed off the 50 period there. So we've already been getting out of our TQs, and we got them out pretty much at the 50 period. So that's going to be always a target for us pretty much as we go. Amazon, again, more 50 periods. Like we just got some out at 20s not too long ago, and then obviously it just dips right back in. And the same story true for Apple, but it didn't get to the 50, so we're kind of trying to wait for that. We just got some more out, though, above 189. I mean, you could see where we're stuck on Apple. I mean, we're hoping that this can get going there. There's it out there at 189.05. Again, the market's going to have to go for us if we're going to try to do anything. What's going on with GameStop here, right here, quickly? Okay, GameStop's back down to 20. I didn't even realize this today.
It's at 20?
That's that bouncing spot. We already wrote down GameStop 20, but we didn't take it today.
BCG halted. BCG will resume at 10 hours, 23 minutes, and 12 seconds.
But GameStop right now down to $20, trying to come through.
Which is weird, because AMC
SWIN may resume in less than a minute.
Yeah, that was the case yesterday too, right, when AMC was much stronger. ELF trying to hold as well, obviously, ELF ripping. But yeah, man, I mean, you guys are just going to get real stuff from me every time. Like, I'll run down to you how I've been trading, what names I've been trading, whether I'm red or green on the day. And it's been a bad day today. Like yesterday we got hit on NVIDIA, and today, like I said, man, we're 2 wins and 4 losses. So not a great day again here today for these names. But you, like I said, you can, you know, if you're looking for that, I'm going to be here for that, so you can ask me. But not good right here. NVIDIA heading to VWAP. So, all right, thanks for bringing that up. I mean, this could be one other thing here, that if NVIDIA does come back in, it's not heading to VWAP really, but if it does come into 1030, that is a level, that's something that we're going to be looking for, right? So let's wait to see if that can come through. But right now, Amazon's trying to go lower, which is not the greatest trade look for us. Right at the bottoms again. I am going to buy a little bit here of Amazon just because we're at this level. But remember, our stops for this one, breaking through that 182 that we really loved yesterday and nailed yesterday. So hopefully it can hold here. We hit this like once, twice, thrice yesterday. Got it, went back up into 183. So I still think 183 has a little bit of a magnet attached to it. So this has been a good stock for me today. It's been Amazon. Amazon and TQ's 2 green names today. And we'll hope that when we get back from the small cap recap, that we will have Apple above 189 again.
IWM looking a little bit weaker than the NASDAQ and S&P 500 right now, slightly down in the day, but trying to curl back up a little bit here. Let's also take a look at some of these small cap runners, including Altamira Therapeutics. CYTO is the ticker for this one, about a 6% short float, trading higher after announcing some publication of highlights from
ONMD halted.
Clinical trial
ONMD
on
will
this
resume
social
at 10
media
hours,
channel
25 minutes
Allergy
and 4
Journal. So
seconds.
nice look there. We also have ONMD, One MedNet. This one trading higher, reporting an expansion of more than 5 times of its proprietary network and platforms. A nice look there. Last but not least, BCG. This is Bina Capital Group. Not seeing any news on this one, but lots of moves up, steady increase in volume. They do have a float of about 3.28 million shares, so smaller name here.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a flexible platform optimized for serious traders? Open an account with a trust.
Like we said, there's a little bit of relative strength in the squeeze meme names, whatever we're calling them, in AMC, which just held on to VWAP. It just got up to 12s. I took some out there. Looking to reload this. I mean, if it's going to trend up, so be it. Pinduoduo is just, that's not a chase to me. So PDD looks like it's making a turnaround off 160 right now. So that's an absolute rocket ship, but joining that trend this high, I don't think that makes any sense. If we are going to continue to go lower, I said VWAP on Intel, but it's consolidating here instead, which is at 30.75. So I'm going to try and pick up some 70s. I thought we'd get some kind of, I mean, the futures bounced like 50 points. I thought we'd get something to the upside on Intel. Instead, it's just, now it's, you get in the offer and it just dropped another 5 cents. So I'm going to try and get it at 70s if we can. The other stock, which is relatively weak, is ARM. It just wicked the 112 level, which is weird because that's exactly where the bottom was yesterday. So another relatively weak name. Sometimes when you look at it, it's like in a strong market, you buy high, sell higher, and sometimes in a weak market, you've got to be willing to be short near that low. So I found a level I like on Intel. ARM, I'll have to let it calm down a bit.
BCG may resume in less than a minute.
Is not as conducive. So I like AMC, still looking for that FFIE to hold on to VWAP. It's consolidating down here. I might take a shot at it at 25 just to get in, then only add if it gets above VWAP. But it's starting to consolidate pretty nicely on FFIE. And ONMD, which was the small cap, it did not break the highs, got right to the pre-market, the pre-market top, and promptly halted down twice now. So ONMD might make a run at this $1 level, where if it does a false break of $1 and holds it, I'd probably try some kind of a long back through. But I'll let that reopen and make a decision. Current tap 112, so it is indicating an open to the south side. PSNY, I'm short 83. It's at 83 on the bid and 83 half on the offer. And again, it's SSR, so it's kind of holding that level. They can't hit the bid to take it any further down.
All right, if we don't get going pretty soon on some of these markets, man, I mean, we're going to get stopped out again because, okay, well, we've got the TQs. We got reloaded on that one, so let's take a little bit out as this fell back in to our level one more time, and we don't want to be too silly about what we have here on the futures.
BCG.
And again, because, like, if the futures don't go, which is what these, I'm just getting some out here. If the futures don't go, which is what these TQs are, then we're going to get destroyed on everything here anyways. So let's get some more out here on the TQQ.
May resume in less than
a
minute.
Yes, sir, this is going to be a big positive name for us here today. So So far. I mean, I don't know. We keep saying that, and then the market turns on us. So let's go. We got the long now on the NASDAQ, bouncing off of that level again. We took a little bit of a risk here, right? So let's wait to see if it will pay off or not. We'll take some out. We did get more shares there kind of out of nowhere. So let's take some out. We just got 25s long. Nice upside move there and able to cash out.
ONMD may resume in less than a minute.
That one. We were able to get some more Amazon down low there. But again, this name, frightening, needless to say, because if this breaks back down below 182, I mean, we're not going to be too happy with that one. And the futures aren't doing anything for us right now. We already hit the 50 period and failed off that. I mean, look at the 50. We broke it right there in the pre-market. Nothing we could do about that. And then all of a sudden just kept on cascading down. This is why I'm not super happy. Tried to break it there, you know, and just completely retraced back in. So, I mean, would love a rebound in the market, obviously, but we're going to be pretty cautious around this $18,900 marker or so. So let's be careful here with Amazon, with the futures, with every single position that we have. Like I said, we're juiced up on all of this.
Meanwhile, NVIDIA is literally consolidating at the top. It is, this stock is, it's up 9%. Like, look, it is literally a monster. I mean, an absolute beast of a stock currently, and everything else. Thank goodness we got away from AMD.
Like, how do we have no green stocks, but yet NVIDIA is so easy?
Look at AMD. Thank goodness we got out of AMD, because it's another $2 to the downside. And, you know, in PSNY, I mean, this is probably the easiest short, but at least we finally got into it. I just started taking profit at 81, and I'm on the bid like every cent or so on the way down to the bottom. So if we get back down to the lows, like, it'll be green. But no matter what happens on PSNY, like, this could go to 70 cents from here, and I'm still going to slap a fail on it. Because, like, the last 2 days, 2 days ago, we saw a 6 million share order sit on the bid all day long at 103. We pointed out in the pre-market. It was like 10 minutes before the open or whatever the hell it was. It broke that in the afternoon. It then resisted that level for 2 days and then has just been breaking down. Today, they actually say that they are delaying their earnings report and just not short in the pre-market. It was kind of weird. All you had to do was put a stop at 1 or 103 and sit in that short trade. So we're in it now because we got the first available pop. But I think that's going to be, for me, that's the biggest disappointment. Not just because we missed it seeing it. I paid for the locates just so I could take it and then waited for the open to try to get into it, which it didn't happen until much later.
SWIN will resume at 10 hours, 29 minutes, and 51 seconds.
I think we missed a huge opportunity on Polestar. It can always come back and maybe give us an opportunity to get a second trade, but it is what it is. Short Intel, but I'm giving it to 30.75 because we're short at the absolute bottom. I'm not holding this all the way to VWAP. If we break out above 76, I'm just going to get out. Just want to make sure I have my stop order, which I did not, by the way. And then AMC is trying to bounce off VWAP a second time. I'm sitting here on the bid at 2s, trying to pick some up. I might move to 3s. This has been somewhat trending up. It did go green briefly, back into red. If we hold on to 5, great. If it doesn't, I'm going to get out underneath that 95 level. There was something else I wanted to get to, was TSM. TSM, still chilling at VWAP, can't seem to hold above. If this is going to join any kind of a party of relative strength, it's at least putting in higher lows. Like AMD is continuing to go lower. This is now putting in higher lows. So I do now like this better than Advanced Micro Devices, but it needs to break back out above 159.
I mean, it's just like, it's just funny because like the only 2 green names today, the TQs and the Amazon, are the only ones that are actually doing like, you know, what I mean, just trade the damn NASDAQ, my guy. There goes TQs. Like, I don't know why I sit there and try to trade equity, honestly. Like, and I know around here, futures has been the widowmaker, but honestly, we've been trading it real good, man, lately, the TQs and the NQs and all that. Like, we just choose TQQ as our poison. But it's been a great trade lately. And again, just try to be patient, especially around this time, man, like 10:30 and change. You know, big opportunity to find levels for the early morning sort of dip buy opportunities or fade the pops or anything like that right now. Again, the NASDAQ has been, look at this trade. Wow. The NASDAQ has been super resilient. every day. So this is not, you know, we obviously want to go long. Let's get something out right now at 52 on the TQs. Let's do that again. So PL1 today, it's not even close. Will be the
may resume in less than a minute.
And then PL2 will be Amazon, but this is just hovering, doing absolute. Isn't it pathetic when I can say like Amazon is going to be the second best stock here on the show, and it's like in the money 4 cents? Like, it's really been bad today, and I see that in the chat too, that no one's really doing too well. And you know, just to let you guys know, there's a few guys behind us, but it's been a rough day. So, you know, damn it, that NASDAQ falling down and having the bias early for the long hurt. It's still really early. It's 10:30. I mean, we're here to make money. We're not going anywhere. I'm still holding these positions, and it's because we haven't really broke the levels yet. I mean, we liked 182 down there. You know, so we bought some 25s, obviously. Let's now see where it goes. I mean, to have said, let's wait for our sticky note, like I say that every damn day, that seems to be working again. But we had Amazon written down there yesterday, 182, today 183. So 182.50 to me is pretty good, and that's where we're long.
CFLT.
So let's just stand out for that. We have more shares on Apple right now than whatever. Let's see what happens with Apple back up to the upside here, as we'll see if we can turn Apple's frown upside down and get going back up to the upside right now, especially if this market takes VWAP, then we're all good. We crushed the Qs right now, and we're waiting for Amazon to pop off. So
VFS.
Yeah, look at NVIDIA continue to go. What a shame that this is not a much better day, because it's really ridiculous, the move that this has had. And AMD, like, for me to be down on AMD is also.
BCG will resume at 10 hours 34
minutes
and 22
I know. I mean, I'm
seconds.
just saying we got out of it, but at the same time, like, so many trades today to have had. All right, let's go over to Adara. It's 10:30.
TZA.
We're still waiting to hear about those spot Ethereum ETF approvals. The deadline for the Van Eck Ethereum ETF approval is actually today, so I'll have to wait and see and find out. We do have some other crypto news that I'll talk about, which is the passing of that crypto legislation story we were talking about yesterday. That is the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act, or FIT21. Basically, this is it kind of determines how the blockchains are determined, and makes it a little bit easier for some of these crypto-related blockchains to operate. It is worth noting the SEC does not. The SEC had a little bit of skepticism, and Gary Gensler was a little bit skeptical of this bill, but it has been passed. So the Senate has not officially approved it yet, so it's not been officially enacted as law, but it's been voted in and approved. So nice look there.
SWIN will resume at 10 hours 35 minutes and 15 seconds.
BTC chart continuing to reject off that 71,000 level on the daily, our third straight day to the downside, below that 68,000 level right now. The only like majorly positive name here in the crypto space today is going to be Ethereum. ETH here up over almost 3%, above that 3,800 level. So nice look for ETH. We have slight positivity as well in USDC and Ripple, but a lot of these other names, including Bitcoin, to the downside, guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, you saw the move in some of the, like, early on, the crypto names, like 70,000 failed, 4,000 obviously, and HE failed. So it was a point I was actually flat. It's like, okay, all the early trades got past their levels and stopped out. Some of them pretty reasonable because we didn't really hold them that far. And then AMD was a different story because we had like 3 different times. And then wait for it and then work back into some positions. So Intel short off the bottom. If it holds the consolidation, it's probably going to get to VWAP, but otherwise we're going to play it off of this low. TSM, we did say we're looking for a long if it can hold VWAP, so it just broke out of VWAP right now. So we're going to go long off of that break, looking for a move back into 160. NVIDIA just broke a fresh high, probably head to 1,050. Surprising to me if TSM is going to go red on the day, but it never got to 156. That's the level we like. So set up the next trade, which is higher lows, showing some strength in there. So that's what it was. Just I double checked with Adara about the deadlines. It was the Van Eck deadline today. It's the ARC application for the ETH deadline is tomorrow. I knew I had read that one was tomorrow, but yeah, the Van Eck is going to be today. So watch out for any headlines dropping with them. Going to get an offer out at the $0.50 on TSM, and then see how far that one does want to go. As I said, we're short Intel. Rivian came back into the 10 level. We let it get into 10. And then we went for the long at 01s in here. I actually
BCG may resume in less than a minute.
Punched in at 99 before it went. I just got out flat at 99, paid some fees, but I'm now back in it at 10.01. Gonna give it to the 95 level, and that's it. Playing off this 10 bounce from the last,
GCT.
I mean, umpteen days, but it's been like a triple bottom this week. You can go back even further on the daily where this 10 level has been holding on Rivian.
AONC.
Didn't think it would come into play after the rally it had, but the market has said otherwise today.
We just made back a lot of money. All right, let's just see what happens now. Look at the futures. Look at the damn futures right now, man. We're doing good on this one. Nice little hold to the downside. Let's see if it can continue to go back to the upside right now. We could turn, we talked about turning our frown upside down. I mean, Apple is trying right now to make this guy a happy dude right now. Let's see if Apple can go right back up to the upside. So here we go, man. So far, not so good. What's up, Adara?
Live Nation to the downside here. The DOJ, Department of Justice in the U.S., has officially, filed a suit to break up Live Nation, which is the parent company of Ticketmaster. This was initially reported as a possibility earlier today, but as of 10:30, they have officially filed. We're noting as well here, we are down about 6% here on LYV. They're basically saying it's a monopoly, and that's why they're trying to break this apart.
ELF.
Yes, they are a monopoly, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, they should be. I mean, they should have looked into that already. Like,
yeah, it's
the fees that Ticketmaster charges is quite exuberant, but you know what? People are paying them as the retail still continues, the consumer continues to be so damn strong. So we can check out Live Nation, LYV, I believe. Yeah, there it is, Live Nation. So again, they've had a nice little run up into that 108 area, and then a nice little fade down. So yeah, this news coming today, not really great, but we've already been down to these levels before. I would say this is not a stock that you would buy in and around $88 with that kind of news, but I don't think this is even that big of a move down 6%. I mean, look, these guys know what they're doing. This is going to be a battle back and forth, and let's go right now for Apple. Ooh, man, we're now back into the pocket here. I mean, it was what was a bad day there. Because we use a lot of shares, obviously we've made back a lot of money, but we're still down because we use a lot of shares. So there is a difference to all of that, right? I mean, it's a double-edged sword. You could trade, smaller shares and lose whatever, $50, $100 a day, or make that much. At the end of the month, it's about looking down and seeing what you're up. And if you can make a living wage the way you're trading, then great. If not, try to change it up. I'm trying to make more and more money every day, so I'm using more and more shares. So right now, obviously, when things don't work out, it sucks. But I still feel very confident in what we're doing right now. Amazon trying to get back up to the upside right here. We're now 50 cents in the money on a position that we believe in. So that's what's happening right there. Apple as well. We got out of stocks we didn't believe in, and unfortunately that was Tesla. That was a good move. See how we haven't gone back to that one. That's still to the downside. I still like Palantir, but once that broke 21, we're staying away from that. And then the puzzling stock, obviously, of the day is AMD because, again, get away from the stocks you don't believe in. Stay with the ones that you do. Neil, that's how you turn your day around. And we're going to have a big, big winner with Amazon. I mean, this is going to be a big one. It is definitely carrying the day for me here, as is the market. And we continue to run up numbers on that as well. So let's take another out right now at 66 on the TQQ. We'll mess up our Tesla. It's really, honestly, my whole day is really Tesla. It was really going long and believing this 178. If you get rid of Tesla, I'm right back into the pocket where we normally are, but we did get smoked there on Tesla. And hey, look, if you're looking for an honest trader, hopefully we're the ones that provide that to you. So again, that's what I'm doing. Here to tell you, we're going to be 2 and 4 today.
FRZA.
Yeah, you just got to grind it back. And whatever your style might be. Like, to me, most of the stocks that don't immediately work, the only stock that didn't immediately work that I took it multiple times, obviously was going to be AMD. But try to keep the others small and then find a way to grind back. Like yesterday was able to grind most of it back, but it was all day. It was an all-day process. Like, it took all the way until the close and then still was slightly red. But we did get most of it back, but in small pieces, like just find the next trade. Rivian 10, like if this gets back into VWAP, you grind a little bit back there. We're still on that TSM to the long side. FFIE, by the way, is now above VWAP. So this is what we're looking for in FFIE. I wanted the strength, get back above. I never got into it. I mean, whatever. We picked NVIDIA. That's why we picked Rivian to jump into off of 10 because it was a big level, but also over VWAP in here in FFIE. That's a name which is trending. I'll look for the next available dip to try to get back in. We got it on the way down instead of the way up, but the same principle is going to hold for me. where I want to get these squeeze names, before they break out. Like instead of taking it through 150, which I'm not saying it gets to 150, but if it breaks 150, I don't want to be taking a 151 or 152 fill. I want to be long going into that and considering if I want to add to it. I think that's a little bit more reasonable. So if we get that, we'll take our shot in Faraday here. I'm still on the bid. AMD is absolutely... So there's just nothing on the bid of AMD. Like we're at yesterday's lows now. Like this started out with a good dip buy. It got to a resistance level at 173 that I didn't even pay attention to. I was just like, yeah, whatever. I'm not trading it off of that level. And now look at it just continuing to drop lower and lower. I don't think there is much of a bid on this bad boy at this point today. I think if you're looking for a long on AMD, I think you're going to have to continue to show an absolute ton of patience because that's just a huge fail. And even on the daily, it's now lost the 50 period again. This is the last week where it's been holding down here. So if it is able to bounce and I can see some strength, I don't mind taking a shot at it, but I need to see it level off. It's 1040. That's the time to not be sitting on the falling knife. It's a time to be looking for a consolidation. And there's been absolutely none of that yet on Advanced Micro Devices, which I said was the #1 stock I was going to trade today. And I'd be making the most trades. Let's go over to Sector Watch, I believe it is, with Adara.
Wow, what?
We actually do have the future slightly positive on the day, but you might not be able to tell when looking at this sector board. Of course, NVIDIA and some of these semiconductor names leading a lot of this move to the upside. NVIDIA with that earnings report announcing, among other things, a 10-for-1 stock split and a 150% increase in their dividends. So nice look there. Also some strength as well in producer manufacturing, AMAT, Lam Research all to the upside as well. Health technology a bit more mixed, and then we get to the sectors that are generally negative. Finance to the downside as a group. Lots of weakness here in utilities, consumer durables, transportation, consumer services, health services. A little bit more mixed or flat here in commercial services. Retail trade as well. Keep an eye out. We're going to have some more retail earnings, including Costco, coming up in the next few weeks. So keep an eye on that one as well. Communications a little bit more muted too. So quite a few sectors to look at, a lot of them going to be more to the downside, with the exception of a lot of these semiconductor-related names, guys.
All right. I was just looking back at Big Patty Ice because yesterday he's like, don't worry, you know, when we had that bad NVIDIA trade early on and then we managed to make back pretty much half of our day there, we gave some back at the end. And then right now, the same sort of thing just happened again. I ran into this dude. You want to talk about having positive vibes all the time. I know Sharif passed that note on to me a couple weeks ago, and I appreciate that for sure. But at the end of the day, what Neil and I are trying to talk about here is we could have bad days. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Like, you can ask us whatever you want. I just told you about being honest. But it's about still being in a pocket, right? Like being able to say, all right, I'm looking down there. We've gotten hit on some of the ideas, but at the same time, you know, we've respected our stops. We understand the losses that we've been taking on, and that is what it is. So again, if you want to make money, it's like you have to risk it for the biscuit, right? And so some days these trades aren't going to work out for you, but if you stay in the pocket and you trade what you like, then it's all good. Neil and Randy having a fit over here about Polestar, but it is down. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's down huge today, and Randy nailed that one. Again, the two smartest traders on the show today, Randy and my wife.
Well, she had a long idea of the word. Randy just said no to everything positive. Like, that was the answer, which was the right answer.
So she's 1 for 1, you're 1 for 1.
No. Like, it's getting, look, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely getting destroyed. What was that symbol? Anyways, I just heard something in my ear. I didn't catch it. We'll get back to it.
Congrats on 100%, my guy.
But that is it's insane. The no came out. The market said no. And the dead cat, I mean, unless you're looking for dead cat bounces, everything has been more or less trend down that isn't NVIDIA, PDD, ELF, and there's something else, maybe some meme stocks. That's
Amazon's
pretty much it.
Big winner.
We almost got, I'm getting most of Rivian out in front of VWAP. You're seeing a trend to the downside. I want to respect said trend. So as it gets back up into like the 9s and 10s, it's just a matter of what's the next trade. So we went long at the bottom at 10.01, kind of giving it to the local low. The bottom here is like $9.98. It's bounced a few times the last couple of days, but at least that's set up. Wait for it to get to that level. If it trades off of it nicely, great. If it doesn't, move on to the next. If you think it's only, Like I was mentioning Li Auto as a breakdown trade for the short. Didn't work because I got out of it too fast. NIO, 10%, okay, 9.4% to the downside. That's going to be SSR at some point today. I think it's $4.70. If it breaks the current low, the stock goes short sell restricted. So that's going to be on the radar for a possible SSR bounce. It is getting nasty. And then remember the aforementioned Li Auto, still holding underneath the up. I had this one short on a 20 break. Probably just got out of it too early there. I didn't get out of it too early. It didn't hold 20. But that last time that it held VWAP, that's a re-entry almost every single time. But you got to just move on to what the next trade is going to be. FFIE, we did get into that one. Eventually off of VWAP here at 30s. It just tagged 35. I have offers going into the high of the day. And want to be long if it breaks out the high on Faraday futures. This is also up, but again, it doesn't care what the market's doing. The market has been trend down, despite NVIDIA holding up rather nicely.
All right. Yeah, not much else to talk about right now, except for maybe what's for lunch. So let's just do that. All right, what's for lunch today is spicy sweet and sour pork with Asian noodles. So we were one day early on the Asian talk. Yesterday was some kind of a hoagie. I didn't see what it was. I went out for lunch with my parents, and then I did manage to go get some from the other side and give it to the boys over here because that's what we're all about. So it was some sort of a sub there yesterday. But today it's spicy sweet and sour pork with Asian noodles. So that's pretty good. And that's for you, hamster. There it is right there. That is your what's for lunch. I mean, and in again, Sean misses by a penny. We were waiting at 65.84. Why would we be there? Well, that's exactly where VWAP is. Next time, wait at a couple pennies lower. So we missed that VWAP take on the TQQs. Again, TQ, Amazon, big winners here today. Unfortunately, the losers will overtake those two for me. Send some love your way. What's up, Big Rob? There you go. Big Rob gets the love in the chat. What's up, Adara?
Amazon here, AMZN, announcing that they're going to be deorbiting two prototype satellites of their Kuiper satellite after having some successful broadband internet tests. So a little bit of satellite news here for AMZN. Might be worth a watch, guys.
SOXS. TZA.
160, like really? This is really starting
will resume at 10 hours, 50 minutes, and 54 seconds.
It's already parabolic to the downside in respect because it's the polar opposite. This is down and at the lows and continuing to tank. NVIDIA is about to break 1,050. Just very quickly, IBIT here.
Cruising with that trade.
What's going on with IBIT? IBIT, load. Bitcoin here about to take out the low of the day and continuing lower. At this point, I mean, if Faraday's starting to get back into that high, if it does a top break, the plan of action is to hold some for a break of 150. And then if it fails that break, look to buy another dip. If it's going to be trend up, Faraday has generally been really good buying dips off of false breakouts. It didn't work the first time through, but we're back in it off of VWAP, and then Rivian. Rivian continues to hold right at 10.10. So have another offer out in front of VWAP. That's at 10.14. If it breaks, then we'll hold on for a piece to continue to go higher. But even this is it's a dead cat bounce. Anyway, any stretch of the imagination. It's just absolutely ridiculous how weak the market has been overall. Even Tesla holding the lows, it's finding support at 176. Generally speaking, catching a falling knife, I need to like that level for another reason. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
VFC.
I thought the next stop would be a 73. So I'm not really looking at Tesla again. Of course, Tesla not a very good stock today. AMD's worse for me because I felt like hit the tighter to the chest, at least a little bit on Tesla. But that's at least $2 or $3 away from where I'd like to get in again on TSLA. They don't seem to like the Shanghai news, but it was the market selling off in a general sense, not just Tesla.
All right. Man. Just looking for some stuff here. All right.
I saw in the chat, Pat just said AMD explained.
VFC.
You know what? Things don't have to make logical sense. You can spin any story you want after. Like I could make something up about, well, NVIDIA is so strong, they're keeping share from AMD, their margins were 69% or whatever, a couple of points higher, so therefore that's going to be bad for the competitors. But the price action was to the downside. You know, the market didn't like it, and you just got to leave it at that. So, you know, I was wrong thinking that AMD was going to go with NVIDIA. I thought it would be a reasonable bounce play, holding on to some strength. You can weave any story you want after that. It's just ultimately the price action showing you how heavy it is.
MGRX.
It's obvious. AMD is an inferior company to NVIDIA. I mean, their numbers are nowhere near what NVIDIA's are. So, I mean, it's just they're showing you that AMD is actually not operating that efficiently because of the margins that NVIDIA is throwing out. So people are obviously just selling AMD. I mean, it's like you could be in the same business, but then if you're getting dummied by them, then it is what it is. I mean, if they have a huge order book for NVIDIA, then that means guess who's not getting the orders? I mean, there's just, to me, you're trading right now. In hindsight, it's easy, but again, when you're looking at it here, I don't even want to buy this name. No way, no how. This is getting crushed. Not the same stock, right? Not all are the same. I mean, you guys see that every day, you know, on the show. Everybody trades differently.
Yeah,
NVIDIA is where all the money's going. That's it. It's all going to NVIDIA, and it's coming out of everything else. I mean, why would you want to hold anything else right now? Micron's obviously DRAM. That's a little bit of a bad example. TSM was all the way to the upside today, probably still holding out. No. TSM faded that move. They were up 3 or 4%, downside as well. But you know what's really cruising right now? We've got it right now. It's $1 on AMZN. And look, I'm just honestly like, to be able to have found these two big winners at least today is something. So I'm pretty happy to be able to show you guys at least some of those. As we've been pounding the table on Amazon, we talked all about that. It was the #1 trade yesterday. It's going to be the #1 P&L trade today. It's not even, like I said, there's 2 green names. So what else? You see the TQs. Although we should have put more shares on the TQ. We also missed our opportunity to get out there. The market is tank city right now. So we're going to have to get some more out here on Amazon just in case we're wrong. We just missed again VWAP up there on Amazon. So let's get some more out here. Hopefully it'll start to rip back up as the futures are going dance, dance, dance right now. Good out for us finally as we get that 70 on Apple. So all good on that one, but the market's coming back in. Let's go find out what's going on with with Money Talks and Adara.
Yeah, SPY continuing to grind higher here on the daily chart. We did wick down a little bit. We're coming back to that area. We've been steadily pushing towards that 105. So nice look here for the DXY on the daily. Lots of economic data to talk about in a week that's otherwise been pretty light on economic data prints. We did have those PMI flash. Global Composite, S&P Global Composite coming in 54.4 versus 51.1 estimate. Global U.S. manufacturing 50.9 versus 50 estimate. Global services PMI flash coming in 54.8 versus 51.2 estimate. So we did see a bit of move down in the market. We got these prints coming in at 945, all higher than expected. We also did get initial jobless claims a bit lower than expected here, 215,000 versus 220,000 expected. Also lower were the U.S. home sales. So compared to the prior number, 5.4% for April, for month over month new home sales coming in negative 4.7%. We do have some economic data on watch tomorrow as well. We're getting the University of Michigan consumer sentiment coming in at 10 a.m. This could be interesting because we did have a much lower than expected number coming in last time, which did bring the markets a bit to the downside. So this will definitely be a print to watch. Also some Fed speak to keep an eye on as well. 3 p.m. today, we're getting Fed's Bostic at 9:30. 5 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to get Fed's Waller, guys.
Swin halted. SWIN
some talkers there. The market rolled back into the lows. I punched some out instead of getting filled at VWAP on Rivian. I just punched some out there at 6 on the way back in. I don't know if I want to reload this at 10.
HYPR.
We'll play it by ear. The market has to show some kind of a bounce. It's a great level, at least on the daily chart, but this can play in both ways. Like if you break this, all of a sudden you've got like the floodgates opening up. Like this is kind of like an Alamo level for the stock. Faraday just came back as well into VWAP. It doesn't tend to care what the market's doing, but it just dipped along with it anyways. Back into VWAP, I reloaded 32s, technically before I had 31s, but at that point it's a distinction without a difference, I should say. We do not hold VWAP on Polestar, so I just got out of that one. If it gets up to $1, I'm going to try to put the trade on out in front of $1 as well on PSNY. I just had to pay for more locates because I just realized that we didn't have everything we wanted, and we do not have them free on Polestar. The other thing which is making a bit of a move is 160 on AMD. So in talking about stocks being weak, and talking about things looking nasty, it's gotten very, very parabolic on advanced micro devices. Don't really have any obvious levels other than this was resistance on the daily chart, and it's an even number as well. But it's getting very nasty with them. And then Snowflake was an earnings play. It's bouncing off the 50. I had said support was at 155, and then 50 periods at 57. I was looking for a bid off the 55. With the market pushing down, I don't see any reason to not wait for it to get to a 155. But the big level on the daily chart for that stock. So Rivian back into 10. I'm not on the bid for a reload. I want to see it bounce off 10 first, and then Faraday off of VWAP. We're going to hang on to that.
All right, so it's going to be, wait a minute, TQ 6503. Okay, so we do have some shares on the TQs right now. I'm just making sure that it's just crazy that we missed that fill rate there by less than a penny because it went to 84. We just didn't get filled. And then now the market's dropped right back into the low. So I'm going to test the low again here. Again, we said that sometimes when it gets to this 10:30 to 11 o'clock, you know, you can look for retracements, but we got one. But it failed at VWAP again. I mean, how important is VWAP? I mean, we talk about that all the time. That was the very first thing that I told Adara was make sure you look at VWAP if you're going to look at anything. So that's what we did look at there. But here we go. We are getting hit. Whoops. The TQs just fell out. So we just broke through. Okay, I was just like, are we breaking through 65? Yes, we are. Right there. So here, a little bit of a bounce back there on TQQs. That was just so quick there at 65. Let's try it again. We're still up on the TQQs, but that was a dip down in on that name. So let's wait to see here how much lower we can go because we are starting to break right now lower on this market. So yeah, so far so good for the shorts. The longs have had a tough road to hoe so far as we've given some back there. I mean, we were really cruising with AMD and Amazon and Apple. It's a good thing we took advantage of that all the way up, and definitely a few outs up there at 183 and change. So Amazon, Apple, and now the market is what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, and speaking, it's not, well, the market's going, Chinese ADRs are also going to the downside. Now, Li Auto, we wanted this one off. I've canceled offers to try to get this back into that 20 level, and we'll just have to look for a little something else. I think this could go, it has potential to go 10%. It's through that trend line bottom, that $20 level on Li. This was pretty much the only short outside of Polestar idea that we were looking for in the pre-market because of said weakness in those Chinese ADRs and specifically the EV name. So I guess next available pop is where it's going to have to be. But FFIE hopefully is not going to follow the market. I would be concerned that Rivian would. I just punched them out at 6, and then it's holding a higher low. So that would be a decent sign for Rivian, but that doesn't negate the fact that we're in a downward trend on the stock. So I got to be cautious trying to buy it again going into that weakness. If there's anything else that's getting a little bit better, you guys let us know. Because I look over, like I'm in Rivian, I'm like, okay, I'm not on the bid. Tesla's about to hit 175. If it breaks that, I don't give a darn what Rivian's support is. It's probably going to go down with it. So Tesla's trying to bounce off 175. That would be good and give me more reasons to maybe go into the long again off of $10 on Rivian. But that's almost like a gimmick kind of trade. It's because 10's a big level more than anything else. You get to $5, $10, $15, those are always going to be big. FFIE's holding up. I just got the reload at 32s. I'm going to get back on the offer in the mid-30s. It could be that kind of a day where it's something like this that is the only way the long is going to work, and everything else in the market is just going to continue to head into the downside. Is what it is. I can look for a short to pop, but if I don't get it, like I said, Li Auto, I just don't want to continue chasing this to the downside. I want to see if we can get a pop, and then I have an out in front of like 1985 or something.
All right, yeah, it seems like, you know, the market was just at highs. I mean, we talked about that yesterday, all-time highs, and today we even wrote it down on our thing that watch out because the market is starting to get real juiced up there today, but I thought it was going to go even further. So, I mean, who knows about me being right today? That's for sure. But we're still doing okay. I mean, like I said, we've given some back now because those TQQs are now down $1 from where we had them earlier. But yeah, not great. And we're just gonna, so I was just looking right here. Let's just see if yesterday holds. It's right into here, like kind of like yesterday's closing area, 64.60. But we just pushed up and then just came right back. See, we pushed up into 80s there. And I was like, okay, maybe we're stopping and finally getting back up to the upside. But no, this is a triple NASDAQ ETF. So this is like very, very violent. So like one little bit move down in the NASDAQ and this thing will wipe itself out. So we already do have an out, 10 cents lower than this. Last try for some dip buys for now, and then calm down, regroup, and get back at it, because right now there is a downside push here happening, obviously in the market. And it's probably this time, I just want to look at it.
Rivian's coming, no, sorry, NVIDIA's coming down.
Right, yeah, Rivian, yeah. NVIDIA down, yeah, so that's what I was going to say. So maybe this time it's actually making some sense as the market is giving it up here with NVIDIA as well. But they're not. I mean, NVIDIA's up 10 damn %. I mean, we've already talked about it right there. The dip into VWAP, that's 1 for 1. The dip into VWAP is 2 for 2. The dip into VWAP is about to happen again at 10:32. So that would be maybe the line in the sand that you draw at some point for NVIDIA, maybe 10:30. Those bottom wicks right there, 10:25 would be the 200 period. That looks interesting to me right here as well. So, all right.
Before we get out of
yeah, for sure. We've got Amazon, and again, Amazon, the only green name today.
Yeah, well, it remains to be seen on Rivian. We'll see about that one. If it breaks 10, I've held on to some. It is what it is. We're 1 for 2 on that stock anyways. And the same thing with FFIE. Like, this trade is winning, but we already took 1 out on it. Bitcoin low of day. ETH, there was a note from Gensler. Again, they didn't specifically talk about the ETF, and ETH got a bit of a ramp to the downside. If you're looking at the individual names, I just want to go over Coinbase, now down at $220, double bottom on coin. And this is kind of like another sort of Alamo-ish level. It just failed the 50 period. So if you don't think things can get worse, when you look at some of these charts and pull them back, like coin looks nasty if it doesn't hold $220. Again, I'm only in some squeeze names, and that's all we're playing with to the long side at this point. But let's get on over to Learn to Trade. We'll be back at 2 o'clock, no questions about it. But it is time for Adara and Sharif. Sans the jacket. This has been a perfect day to remind everybody, if you wore the leather jacket, that it's an NVIDIA kind of day, and it really has been. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Let's go get them.
Yes, yes, yes. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show.
You know, Stevie here nearly bailed on you two again, stressing out about his spending.
All arms of the AI supply chain or market gathered here, and the 3 CEOs just on stage together moments ago. Our host is Michael Dell, CEO and chairman of Dell, and a company celebrating 40 years as well at this event. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, it's good to see you, and Bill McDermott, Chairman and CEO of ServiceNow. I think it's probably sensible to ask, is this the first time that the 3 of you have actually been in the same room at the same time? And Michael, to you as our host, why the 3 of you in the same room at the same time?
Well, you know, at Dell Technologies World, we love to bring our customers and partners together and talk about what's new and what's exciting. And, you know, this AI opportunity is really tremendous. And we can never do anything by ourselves. But this is a great example of how you have an ecosystem of companies coming together along with all these incredible innovations in GPUs and compute, and storage and networking, and all the AI models and software companies that are utilizing all this power. And it's causing a new industrial revolution.
There are 5 things that I would like to talk about. The first being the relationship between the 3 of you and your companies, how you work together. The second being AI infrastructure, how durable what's happening is. AI PC. You know, you've been talking about AI PC on social media for some time, and officially, of course, as well. US leadership. You know, I reflect that I have 3 American CEOs sat around me, all
get out of that. Not entirely, we didn't make everything back, but I was able to kind of get into a good place because I was just trading names that I really liked, that I felt I had a good read on. Today, I actually feel like I have a good read on NVIDIA. And so with the book, and so with that in mind, I think I kind of owe it to myself to take a trade. I already missed that 1035. I said to Sharif, I watched 1035 NVIDIA.
Yep.
We get to 1035, which came in confluence here with VWAP, and it bounced. And I was a little bit bummed out that I did not take that trade, but it's like, you know what that means? You have more opportunities to take more trades.
SWIN will resume at 11 hours, 6 minutes, and 52 seconds.
1016, 1027.5, 1035, 1032, 1035, 1040, 1042. And it's just based on stuff I've seen on the tape and the chart. So we're going to have to see if these come to fruition, but just some levels I will be looking at today. But also, Adham Abu Sahel, 199 super chat. Some of the love from PDD, heart emoji, flying dollar emoji. Let's take a look at PDD. PDD was one of, I think it was my best name yesterday. This was a really fun one to trade yesterday, and certainly interesting today as well. Congrats to you. I don't know, either you could have taken this long and short and done really, or short and done really well here. But we had that pop off here off that 148 level, which was pretty fun yesterday. We come into that 156, which was another level that was super critical yesterday as well. We bounce off it kind of beautifully, then we come back up. So great look here for PDD. Let's look at the daily chart in this one, because this one has certainly been, oh my, yeah, this is a monster. Look at that double bounce we get here at a bit of a downward channel. We come bounce at 112, and PDD's like, I don't like being down here. I'm going to go back up. So nice bounce up. Thank you so much again for the super chat, Adham. This has been a great day, and I'm so happy to see what these markets have to offer. Yeah,
all right.
Though too.
Yes, we are talking about the measured move all week, guys, on said lesson today. We're going to talk about scalping using the measured move. So let's get right down to business. So scalping thrives on capturing tiny profits from frequent trades. Measured moves, when used strategically, can become your secret weapon for intraday scalping. So here's how to combine these powerful concepts. So as we typically do, what is the measured move in case you missed the lesson from Monday?
ERAS.
So imagine, I'll just give you an example. Imagine a stock surges to $2 on an intraday basis. A measured move, often based on the historical retracement, will estimate the potential future support and resistance level. So in this case, a 50% retracement on a $2 move will suggest to you a dip into about 150 before potentially resuming the uptrend. The whole idea here is to figure out where something may retrace to, where something may top out at, so you can base your dip trades on, and as well as your profit takers. So we're going to talk about that whole concept from the lens, or review it from the lens of scalping. So let's get right down to business, baby. So scalping with the measured moves. Step 1, identify a strong trend. Scalping works best in trending markets. Use technical indicators or price action analysis to confirm an uptrend or downtrend. I would say to you, look at the moving averages really. If you can't gauge the trend based on price. Moving averages, it's easy to see. They point up or down or sideways, okay? It's really going to depend on which moving average you choose here. Step 2, spot the initial price move. So look for a significant price move within the trend. For example, a sharp jump up, intraday or right at the bell with a catalyst, for example. So you're looking, number 1, identify a strong trend, and then you're looking for the initial price move as step 2. Step 3, you're going to use the calculations we explained to you over the last few days to calculate the measured move. So you're going to apply a retracement level of your choice, whether you're using the 50, the 61.8, whatever it is on the fibs, you're going to use it to estimate a potential support and resistance zone. That's step 3. Step 4, your entry and your exit with precision. This is the tricky part here, okay? So for an upward trend, you're looking to enter a long position near the calculated retracement level. In our first example, it would be $1.50. So you've calculated that there was a $2 move, right? And then the 50% retracement off that $2, about $1.50. So you'll be waiting there with a resting order to get filled. So in an upward trend, you're entering a long position near the calculated retracement level, example $1.50. As the price dips, you're going to exit shortly after the price bounces and shows sign of resuming the uptrend. So a small breakout above the retracement level, for example. In a downtrend for the short sales, you're going to enter a short position near the retracement level. So be like around 150 as the price rises, right? So you're shorting the pops here. You're not going along the dips, the complete opposite. You're going to exit shortly after the price confirms the downtrend by breaking below the retracement level. So simple 1, 2, 3, 4, those are how to kind of look to use the system. A lot easier said than obviously done, okay? Some key considerations that you need to think about if you're going to use scalping in the measured move technique. So volatility is your friend. As a day trader, that's kind of ubiquitous. Measured moves work best in volatile markets with frequent price swings, offering more opportunities for scalping entries and exits. And you're going to want to have tighter stops with these ones. You're not taking as much profit, so you shouldn't be losing as much here either. You got to keep that risk to reward analysis in the back of your mind when you have that scalping mentality. So tighter stops, scalping profits are small, so use strict stop losses placed slightly below the entry price for longs, or obviously above the entry
my
price
business because of its massive scope for functionality.
You also make sure to set your stop and profit takers right after entering the trade to make sure that you can get in and out according to your plan. And managing risk, kind of like not the same thing, but similar. Scalping involves frequent trades, so risking a significant amount per trade can quickly reduce your capital. So maintain good risk management practices. Essentially, it's a long-winded way of saying use less size per trade when you're scalping here. It's up to you, though, obviously. So tips to take your scalping a little further. Combine measured moves with price action. I think this is kind of just goes without saying. Look for confirmation signals like candlestick patterns at the retracement level to increase confidence in your entry point. So if you were looking for a possible bullish signal at your level, say that $1.50 that we were talking about, perhaps you could be looking for a hammer candle to be in and around there, a bottoming tail candle, perhaps a couple of candle patterns, maybe a bullish engulfing. Whatever, you're looking for something to tip you off at the level that you've earmarked. That's what I'm trying to say. And you could also use market orders here for faster entries. I don't personally use market orders myself, but I know that people use them with success. I personally use wider limit orders with a bit of a spread between the trigger and the limit. But for market orders, you can consider using market orders to ensure you get into a fast moving or scalping opportunity, but be aware of possible price slippage. So slippage is essentially, you put in a market order at the time the bid was saying, I don't know, or the ask was saying, say, I don't know, $200, and all of a sudden by the time you get filled, it's at 2010. So that's what we're talking about with slippage. Obviously as well, the spread can factor into that. And last but not least, man, practice. Demo trade using scalping with measured moves to refine your strategy and gain confidence before ever risking real capital. If you see a level that's continuing to prove itself, don't be afraid to scalp in and out while using the appropriate risk management skills. And by mastering the art of scalping with the measured move, you'll be better equipped for said type of technique, Adair.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sharif, for that lesson. You guys know I was very excited. Sharif,
oh, yeah.
Oh, did you see the lesson today? Because it's scalping. Yeah, I added that last bit because I think if you see a level that you're really liking, maybe again, risk management, of course, too, but, try it, see if it works for you to take those scalps. So I did try to take that NVIDIA 1040 short, and then my account was like, haha, Adara, you cannot afford NVIDIA. I was like, cool. Because I know NVIDIA is a more expensive name. NVIDIA is now I'm too classy for Adara. I was like, that's cool. I understand.
Wow.
So,
someone needs a bump up in BP, baby.
Well, yeah, I do not deserve that yet at all. So, yeah, I think I need to prove myself more to NVIDIA first. But yeah, I'm considering NVDL shorts. Right now, though, I do think I would probably rather play this bounce off of that 51 level, which is that 1035 roughly on NVDA, because that's a level I like. So that's probably how I pay it, or how I'll play it. If we keep rejecting off that little roundy top around 1045, maybe I'll get NVDL shorts, but right now not getting too married to anything there. Tesla, I tried this. I think the issue here was execution. If I'd given myself like literally 5 pennies more to run, I still think the short could come in. But also the issue was I liked that we had a few candles here failing to break up, right? I thought we could have had a breakdown. Got short 176, which is where a lot of these candles were coming to. And then, of course, Tesla ramps up with the viciousness. I said, you know what? I understand that. That's cool. That's fine. I also had a bit of a TQL as well. But again, it was just based on that. We had these failed wicks up here. I thought we'd have that rejection. We sort of did, and then we gave it all up. Got out when we got to where we had a little bit of that previous bounce. So again, happy with how the trades went. Am I happy that my P&L is down? Well, no, you never are going to be, but it's not about P&L. It's about what you learn from each trade. It's about how you push yourself. And it's about Apple giving me this range that I wasn't even paying attention to.
Just about to get into it.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting involved. So I'm going to take a bite out of this apple, this Macintosh apple. And
SWIN will resume at 11 hours, 17 minutes, and 7 seconds.
I kind of want like 50s, but I don't think it's going to give me 50s. I think Sharif definitely has the right idea there. How are your Alco and Apple going?
It's good. We're just wetting our beak right now on Apple as it dipped down. The other one is still out of the money by 10 pennies, but I already really took out the majority of the position. I'm waiting to see if this area holds. This area over here on OKLO, let me just show you real quick, is the 10 period on the 5, but it looks like it's given up the ghost. So my stop is already in place. It gets triggered. It gets triggered. That's the end of that. I'm keeping an eye on 70.70 though, even if my stop does get triggered, which is below this area over here. I think I'm sitting at 72s or 71s. If it does get triggered, I'll look to get in possibly on VWAP if it proves itself that it will use that area as a key area of support. So if it does, yeah, we'll take it. If it doesn't, oh well. So that is the case there. We're going to leave that one. Let's see what will come. The reason I got short on the dead one right now, pretty simple reason. It made it back into VWAP, although I do know that this is looking awfully double bottom-ish. And it is bouncing off support level 2 on pivots. But this was the initial pop into VWAP, and it was a pop and then drop. And then over here, same thing. We pop in, we drop again. So I'll just taking quick scalps, not really going to hold this. My stop is already on the break of this high over here. If it continues to hold down, we'll wet our beaks possibly into 189 or something like that. Already printed on it though, there.
Nice. Yeah, it's a really great look. I wasn't able to get involved. I said to Dara, wait and see, because I just didn't want to force myself into it. Yeah, you definitely had a great entry point on that. I still think I want NVIDIA. I still love NVIDIA. Still looking at NVIDIA longingly. I don't have any other plays that I'm like super, super obsessed with. So I think at that point I'm like, I'm going to wait for 1035s. If we get 1035s in NVIDIA, we'll play that in NVDL. I believe, but we're going to have to wait and see what happens. And again, I think I might have to procure some shorts in NVDL. Other things I like right now, this snowflake is coming into one of the levels I notified.
RZLT.
Not notified, but I identified for myself, which is that 157. Look at, okay. And the spread, okay, the spread. So the spread, I need to be more careful about spread because spread shot me up yesterday on Meta. Spread shot me up yesterday in Moderna, though Moderna, I had a lot of other issues beyond the spread. It was just, I was a little bit tilted on that, but it's all good. I want to see what Snow does here. We're trying to push above that 157, but if we fail that, and the fact that we're below the 90 MA, I think this could be a short
SWIN may resume in less than a minute.
I want to take a look here at Boeing because someone was mentioning Boeing here.
RZLT.
Boeing. Yes, there's been a couple. I'm not seeing this like this most recent volume pops here in the news, but I know the FAA has been talking about Boeing earlier today, saying that they have a long road ahead of them. Did you?
Was this earlier, Dara? This came in at 11:10, sorry?
This is, I think, probably the story, this Boeing.
Okay, because I don't see it from before that, yeah.
I think that is this one.
Yeah, because it just came in with the fire emoji beside it, which usually means it's like a hot story. All right, Boeing now sees negative free cash flow in 2024 as deliveries remain sluggish. Surprised? Not me. Obviously, trouble with that company, not only in production, but with safety. We know all about that. I'm not going to belabor that. But that is the headline that's coming in right now. Boeing shares extend losses, last down 5.3% after CFO says company now expects negative free cash flow in 2024. That just did come in, I believe, at 11:08. I don't know.
VFC.
Yeah. 11:08, and there's this headline as well. Shares of Boeing hit last session low of 180.04 last down. Okay, after confirms delays in play.
Oh, that
was yesterday. Yeah, I do remember that from yesterday. So I believe it is the CFO one about the negative cash flow that is kind of keeping things artificially low at this level. So keep your eye on Boeing. Thank you, Gora, for pointing that out. Good call on that one. With respect to AAPL, I've put in my profit taker at the $0.25, but I got to tell you, having watched the book and the tape here for the last few minutes, there is a hidden buyer at 35. There is just not enough size on the book here at 35 to prevent this from coming down. So watch the book at 35. There's definitely something icebergish at that level. Every time it comes down to 189.35, there is a buyer not reflected on the book, hence my assumption that it is an iceberg. So keep your eye on that one. The other thing, we're getting very similar patterns on some of these Mag 7s, and that hasn't been the case as of late. Look at the similarity between Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and Meta. They're looking awfully similar. And then there is similarity, ironically, between two stocks that really never moved together, Goggles and the Cybertruck. GOOGL and TSLA look very similar. So there is some confluence today between some of these Mag 7 names. Whether we're able to use it to our advantage, an entirely different story, but I just wanted to point that out. You can see the double bottom-ish shape on the soft one, very similar with Apple, same look with Meta, top left corner over here. A little bit of a different look with the Zon over here, not really a clean double bottom area. And then Google and Tesla, you can see they're awfully similar as well, down and to the right, and then you're getting this little spike up over here that just started at 5 to the hour over here, so right at 11 essentially. So keep your eye, these ones moving in tandem, and then these four moving in tandem. NVIDIA is just doing its thing. It doesn't care about anybody. It's got its own catalyst there, and it's got its own marches to the beat of its own drum.
It has its own agenda.
There you
we
go.
didn't have 2 super chats while we had the lessons. I'm going to have those. Thank you so much, Rami Rahim. $2 super chat. 18,000 on NVIDIA calls, and I sold earlier. I mean, congrats to you. It's a great look there. NVIDIA's still kind of perking its little head up. NVIDIA, stop behaving so well, because I'm going to have feelings, but no, really nice look here. That 1040 is certainly a level. It's been bouncing around right now. Shout out to you, Rami. I was gonna say hope you print, but you clearly are, so nice look. And thank you so much to Noah as well for the $5.99 super chat, or sorry, $4.99 super chat. This super chat on a live stream. Home trading all week because of a tornado. Pray for Houston. Yeah, I am. Hopefully everything is okay there in Houston. I was not aware of that tornado. Grateful for meme stocks making me coin for my classroom. What a wild trading lesson on memes. Yeah, the memes have been, it's a sight to be meme, that's for sure. It's what memes are made of. And so thank you so much to Noah for that super chat. Hopefully things are okay. Read that tornado.
Did you say that's what memes are made of?
Yeah.
So you obviously meant what dreams are made of.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I just got it right now.
I like what you have to say about Google and Tesla, but it's funny because I actually have opposite reads on them. I think they're moving the same direction, but I think they've kind of taken a turn. To me, Google is a short, as you might be able to tell because I went short on Google. But it's because we did have these kind of failed wicks to the upside here at 176. So I said, I like the idea of trying a short here. We're bouncing off the 90 MA. If we break decisively into that 176.05, that's where I'm going to have to say goodbye. But for me, Tesla, I initially clearly thought it was a short. Then I tried to go long here, and then Tesla pops up 40 cents. I was like, okay. But yeah, to me, I think right now Tesla could be curling here at 60.
SWIN may resume in less than a minute.
With its bestie Google, but you're right. Like I think there is.
I wasn't saying they were long.
Pardon?
I was saying that they look similar.
I wasn't saying like I was just saying I think they look similar, but they're kind of veering off a little bit. That was what my kind of thing was. But as I say that now, I think actually Tesla could be a short. So. I don't know. It's an interesting look, but yeah, I like that you pointed that out because they are moving very similarly. And the Apple and Meta similarity, I also had on watch mostly because they're both rangy. But yeah, how is that Apple going?
We're out of the money on this Apple trade for the last remaining amount. So if we get stopped out above the break of 189.72, will we be positive on it? Let's find out. Let's have a look quick right here. We are still positive on the dead one. So whether this one gets triggered out, we're going to be positive because the amount we took out here was a little bit bigger, but I'm still packing my patience. It hasn't triggered me out, so I'm not going to really look at it at the moment. Let's go over some of the small cap gappers that we have on the day. I already showed you guys OKLO, still holding that for the remaining amount as it continues to kind of dance at 780, really doing nothing. This one kind of started moving nicely, though, right as I sat down. This one was actually moving into highs as I loaded it up. REN RENB, nice mover on this one. This is a $212 million market cap. It's done 2.33 million shares on the day, and it has 110 million share float.
PPBT.
Let's find out what the short float is on this bad boy, RENB. It is negligible, but 2.1% of the float is shorted. So we'll keep eyes on this one. It's been really respecting the 10 period on the 5 quite well. If you set up a dip trade at the 10, you've printed. It has never even touched the 20, nor has it closed anything below the 10 period. All the 10 period touches have been wicks and bounces. So RENB, even though, the volume a little bit suspect because it is a $1 name, it is holding up from a technical sense, Spence, calm down, quite well. BCG, also a decent look on this one. Printed highs at 775. This one retraced into the 20, so a bit of a deeper retracement. Dancing with VWAP right now at 6 3/4, but 7 3/4 is the high day. This one's still putting in higher lows, so it's still in play and it's still above VWAP. FFIE continuing to feature in the small cap gapper world after giving back a little bit of those profits. Yesterday, this guy's was 14 pennies about a week or two ago, so the fact that it's above $1 right now is still pretty good. It's got a decent love affair today with the 20 period on the 5. All the closing prints have been north of the 20 subsequent to the bell ringing. It is now, though, kind of coming down into it a little bit more, putting in lower highs as we speak, but still respecting the 20 at about $1.25 there on FFIE. That's the only 4 that I've got on the day, actually. I don't have too many more. I know Luis was covering one that I think gave back the ghost today, ONMD. Yeah, here it is. ONMD RAM is the one that we were looking at earlier there with Luis on the morning. And this one got $1.66, just reclaimed VWAP again. There's obviously a buyer in this 110 to 115 area. Look at all these bottoming tail candles that come into that area, all of which got bought up on ONMD. But, it's slugging along here. I feel like the momentum's really dropped off from this one. So we'll keep eyes on this one.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go short Tesla, whatever, I like the look. And I did like the look, and then I was like, Darren, I suspect this is probably Doji Candle. Got out, lost 10 pennies, I just was like, I do not have the vibe for this. But Google, this short, I still feel wonderful about. And I wanna explain why. So I know we had this big bullish push, I know we're bouncing off the 90 MA every single time. We get to 175.95, Google's like, no, thank you. And I'm like, okay, Google, I can respect that. No problem with me. I don't want to add to this because I have a decentish size already and I don't want to add for the sake of adding. That's another thing that got me chopped up on yesterday's ill-fated Moderna disaster. But Google, I think we could be coiling for a move higher, but right now I still feel comfortable in the trade, so I think I owe it to myself to stay in. Tesla, that was a bit of a mess up, but I'm really happy with how I got out because the second I saw that pop of the viciousness, I just said, Adara, cut the dang cord. So nice look there, but I have to say, it's crazy how similar Tesla and Google look to each other. I definitely, because I will say at 1.2, I had my Tesla up and I saw the pop up and I was like, oh no, my Google short. So the charts are a little bit indistinguishable. Also because they're around the same price. Tesla 176.89, Google 175.91. So very similar in terms of price here are Google and Tesla. Now that I'm looking at this, this actually could be a 5-minute bull flag here from that pop up. But I still feel okay in this short, so I want to be cognizant of the factors that are making me think it could switch long, but I also do like the look of the short.
SWIN may resume in less than a minute.
Because I'm seeing some looks at Mara. So yeah, Mara having a nice little recovery from the bottom here. I know a lot of people looking at this one. Quite a bottom for here, forming at 20. Now, Mara wants to know if 21 can do something for it. So let's find out if 21 can indeed do something for Mara. Not a lot of chart patterns here, just up, 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 up. We bounced above VWAP with the viciousness. If we come back to test anything, it could be that 2063 because that was a bit of a chop and churn level here coming off the open. But right now, Google, if you want to search for a lower low, someone would be very happy indeed. Also, this NVDL is making me, I don't know. Right now we're continuing to push higher, but I think it might be nice to have NVDL shorts just in case. How are you looking on your trades?
I just got my NVDL shorts vis-a-vis the Neil. hooking me up 1/8 of a cent. So, you know, they broke the bank. So we're going to keep eyes on NVIDIA. I'm not going to jump into it super quick. Obviously, this is going to be more of a scalp because it is a pretty obvious counter-trend trade, given that this monster is up 10.2%. It's a $1,000 name. So, you know, if I take anything on this, it's going to be super quick and off technical resistance. So obviously we see here 1047 and a quarter HOD at the moment. We have a multitude, I was going to say plethora, but there's other adjectives for that, into this level, a multitude of topping tail candles coming into this 10047 or thereabouts. So if you're looking for a scalp on this, I mean, it's interesting, but what I see here is a series of higher lows with a flat top, and you know what that means when the trend that preceded it was to the upside, possible flat top breakout through that level. So we'll see exactly what we get on NVDA, but it's nice to have those bad boys ready for when I need them, if I need them. All right, so I'm happy that I packed my patience with Apple, even though I was well out of the money. I think I was out of the money about 10 or 15 pennies because it did come back into VWAP and then reject again. So it did another wick shimmy into the VWAP like it has at 1035, 1040, 1105, 1110, 1120, and yeah, 1125. It's all rejected off the volume weighted average price. That doesn't mean that it has to be there for the rest of the day, but I'll continue to see the technical resistance there and try to play off it. So if it makes another move back in there, I could be persuaded to add to this Apple position. But what it is now breaking a little bit higher incrementally and looking a lot better than Apple for a long is AMZN. So look at this rounded bottom that it's putting. We don't have the lower highs like we do on AAPL. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. We're getting higher highs here on the Zon. So initially when we started the show, the high of this local area was at 183.40, and we've been incrementally making our way higher into 183.70. So AMZN putting higher lows and higher highs, but it is kind of trying to reject a little bit off this 50 on the 5, so we'll see if that's a thing or it means nothing. But AMZN curling a little bit here. Yeah, that's really all I'm looking at. Looking at Apple at these levels and looking at, obviously, NVIDIA for a possible short, but I'm not going to jump into that really quick. And I have to say, I really like your Google short, man. And the reason I like that Google short is because look at the move through the 20. So initially, it was hugging the 10. It had that dalliance with the 10 on the 5. And then once the 10 broke, you know, it went out with its older cousin, the 20. And the 20 is rejecting it as well. So 176-ish area here, price action, but rejecting off the 20 on the moving averages.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I know a lot of people in the chat thinking like, hey, Google long. I have said I totally do see the aspects. Thank you for going over that 20 and 10 relationship. I think one thing with the Google that I do see right now, we're kind of resting on the 9. We also do have that kind of bullish wick down here, and we had a pseudo bull flag on the 5-minute, but what I'm seeing is every time we get to the 175.95, Tesla's or Google's like, no, I don't want it. And if it's gonna have that, well, as I say that, Google's like, oh, Adara, I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm like, okay. We break decisively above 176.5s. I'll get out. But yeah, also the thing for me too as well is, and I really appreciate you calling out the similarities between Google and Tesla, because now I've been playing them against each other. Because when they're moving initially similarly, when the chart patterns are so similar that, no joke, I had the Tesla trade up and thought I lost on my Google trade because I thought it was the same chart. When they're moving so similarly and then you start to see something different, that's something to note. This Tesla, when I started noticing we had these pops here where I thought Google was getting weaker, then I said, Adara, play them off each other. Play that distinct difference, shout out to Obi. Because if they do look so similar and then you start to see a little bit of a change in the tides, to use a Sharifism here, I want to play off that. I wanted 88s. I don't think I'm getting 88s. So we might have to just get 75s here and be pleased as punch, which I am, because, you know, I haven't had the best rate on Tesla today. I initially thought we were going to be short that 176.60 because we kept rejecting it. Tried it, did not work, and I eventually had to give up the short bias on Tesla.
May resume in less than a minute.
These little baby pops like that. If that's the strategy to play on Tesla, which lately in the last little bit it looks like it has been, then that's the strategy I'll play. I have no qualms about that. One thing I'm also trying to work on as well is I know a lot of people were mentioning yesterday, and I appreciate this, like, hey, you know, sometimes you have the right idea, you just don't stay long enough. My thing is, when I stay long, I pay per hand. That is just like a fact. Like if I'm gonna trade for longer than a second, it'll do really well, and then I just panic and stay in it. And so because of that, that's why I feel like I do scalp a little bit more. But that being said, if there's a range I really like that I want to stay in, that's when I'll stay a little bit longer. And that's why I have been waiting patiently for Google instead of scalping out these 10 penny moves. I do want all the smoke. Yeah. Also, Kyle Burdett, $1.99 super chat here for join $TACH. FOSL. So new ticker there.
Yeah, because of the dollar sign. Thank you, Big Kyle Burdett. Big Kyle, you're a good luck charm, because the second that super chat came through, we got filled at the $quarter on the dead one there. So keep sending those super chats, Big Kyle. Well, no, don't. Keep them on your side there.
Are you long Apple now?
I'm not. Am I? No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was. Actually, thank you, because the stop had more shareage, so that did nothing really. Oh, that's made money. But yeah, there we go. So it did come into the $quarter there, and we did get out of the AAPL trade. So Apple headed down, as I was just mentioning. Amazon headed up. It is headed for that 184 level. So the similarities that we pointed out between these four over here starting to, fade away. It's starting to become Amazon and Meta looking a lot similar to each other. Both are putting higher highs and higher lows on this little ascent. The dead one and the soft one are very either consolidative or heading down. So look at this. So they both have that double bottom-ish pattern over here, but Apple coming into 189 again, and Amazon rejecting 432 for the umpteenth time. Over here, you'll see we've been rejecting said level since the start of the show at 11. So 432 acting as a local level of resistance. Not the case on Meta, not the case on the Zon. So we'll keep eyes on those ones. And thankfully, I did not use the shorts that Neil was so kind enough to secure for me for NVDL, because as I did, a new high of day came into play on the Monster. $1,048.96 now is the high of day on NVIDIA. Could we see 1,100 today? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say anything. But anyway, so I won't be shorting this unless there's really something there for me. I'm going to need to see a clear technical pattern, whether that's a series of lower highs and lower lows. I'm not going to be guessing at, areas that I like. Oh, the $50 level. Oh, this level. No. I'm not going to do that. It's going to have to show me technically that there is a pattern in play, and then I'll look to get into the pattern. Otherwise, this is a long. It's just I hate punching in at highs on these longs. So, okay, now we're going to start looking for the long on NVDA here, because this thing's got no breaks, baby. $1,040 is the 20 period on the 5, and the last deep retracement we made, you guessed it, was a double bottom at set 20 at the level that Adair pointed out, $1,035. You can see it held up there, which also happened to be that lovely yellow on my chart, which is a 20 period moving average. Otherwise, it's really respected the 10, which is the green solid line. Look at this thing go. Here comes 1,050. Unreal. The Monster continues to print. Jensen and his boys. They be making all the money, baby. So we'll keep eyes on NVIDIA. Definitely not shorting that Monster at the moment. I'm trading NVDL, by the way. Back to OKLO. Sorry, Adara. Came into 790. I still haven't gotten out. I'm seeing a rounded bottom here. I'm packing my patience.
Yeah, no, still looking at Tesla. Happy with where I got out of Tesla. I think Tesla is consolidating and figuring out what it wants to be when it grows up, so I don't want to mess with its, development. But I still like that 176.60 to 176.90. I still think this is a level. I did get a Google. I think a lot of people in the chat were, it seemed like a lot of people in the chat were long Google or hoping Google would go up. So shout out to you guys. It did end up going up. I still like the idea. I'm proud I sat in it for as long as I did, because I usually don't do that. And I got out where I needed to get out. So no complaints from me. Now we have this breakout. So go Google, putting the go in Google. Nice look there. Searching for some more upside. Let's take a look at CLSK as well, seeing Tom H mention some of these crypto-related names. Okay. Hi, CLSK. This is interesting. We're getting kind of a similar look to Mara, though I think Mara was a little bit more of a flat bottom here around 20s, and CLSK is more, also Mara is already tilting back, and CLSK is continuing forward. But CLSK could run into a bit of an issue here at the 17 170 because that was an area we topped and turned around a little bit earlier. So, and as I say, that CLSK is like, what do you mean a bit of an issue? It's going to push higher. So nice look there for CLSK. Yeah, Hafid, I'm not involved in NVIDIA yet because I haven't seen. I'd be trading NVDL just because I apparently
may resume in less than a minute.
I could not afford NVIDIA, but also because I want to wait for an area I really, really like. For me, that 1035 was the level on NVIDIA. That's where I should have gotten involved. But also, I scalp a little bit more as well. And Sharif also just mentioned NVDL. So I think there will at some point, if we see stuff we like, of course, we will be trading it. But you know, you don't want to go chasing waterfalls. You know what I mean? Chasing waterfalls. But yeah, so shout out to TLC. And I don't think this market needs any TLC, though. This market looks pretty healthy so far today. Let's take a look at ELF because Ike Anderson was saying, shout out to Sean's wife because Sean was saying his wife was like, oh, I like ELF. And then ELF moved up like 20%. So congrats to you, Ike Anderson. This is a great look. We kind of looked like we were in a bull flag, and ELF's like, I'd rather just continue to the upside. So great foundation here for ELF. That was a makeup pun.
CDNA.
Continuing here to the upside. A couple wicks that do look a little bit scary, but we continue to push to the upside. This is a great uptrend here. I want to see what we do here. We're getting to this 187 area. We kind of wick up a little bit. This could be a bit of an area of resistance, but it looks like we're continuing to push to the upside. Level I liked on ELF was that 180, which is where we had a little bit of that struggle to get above, that we bounced. So that's a nice look if we come back there. What else is going on? Okay, Apple. I like this Apple high or low on Apple. That long you accidentally got into.
CMCM.
No, right? Can I mention Dell super quick? West y'all wants me to have a look at Dell. Asked him for a day trade or intraday trade or investment. I think he mentioned intraday trade. So here it is. We're at the WAP right now. Rejecting off it. We're dancing to it. We're still putting in the higher lows, holding that 10 period off that. What was that? 153.43 LOD, 162.71 HOD. But as you'll see, this is yesterday's price action. We were south of 150 yesterday. In fact, at the afternoon.
Still, no, it's not possible. But like actually, you can see it. This here. I remember when we had this.
Didn't move like this before. This is AI specific. It's data center specific. It's AI server specific. We all saw the CEO of Dell sitting first row, got the point, got the nod from Jensen,
RVPH.
Called him out by name, had him sitting there. So this is orchestrated in the way it feels. So anyway, we're at VWAP right now. Can't really break VWAP. What I'd be looking for here is to see how this resolves. Do we curl back down or do we reclaim the level? Depending on how it resolves, then we can make a decision as to how to take this, whether long or short. DELL up 7.04%, was up much higher at the highs, but that double top there at 162-ish and change sent it all the way down to 153. So almost a $10 move there, $9 and change off the highs. So great look for Dell today. But Wes, I tell you, I'm going to have to, my trading style here, I'd wait to see how this resolves. I wouldn't want to guess. You have a 50-50 shot here, whether this breaks or holds at VWAP, right? So I guess pack your patience for that. Otherwise, yeah, let me know how it goes. So that is a look there on DELL. Back to OKLO, showing 88s here, so nothing new. It hasn't triggered my stop. My stops have been in place, so I'm going to pack my patience, see if we can reclaim 8. It's up 10% now, so not a bad look. OKLO. Meta's really going here, guys. It really did curl up. Now it's in positive territory off that double bottom of 466, 465, or thereabouts. What is this current level on Meta? Do we have any price action resistance anywhere around here? I got to tell you, there is really no price action resistance at this particular area. Not until maybe that 472 area, and I wouldn't even put too much stock into that. I would be looking more for 473.5 to 474. Those are the highs that we put in yesterday. Otherwise, we're kind of in no man's land here. A good long would have been off this break, this neckline break here, taking that 469 and 2/3 long possibly. But yeah, I didn't have eyes on that, so I'm not going to pretend like I would have traded that. I wouldn't have. Anyway, so keeping an eye on Meta, it's really changing its tune here, so to speak, headed to the high side off that double bottom. Similar look for the Zon, but a little bit of a weaker 184 rejection right now on AMZN. It did break it nicely. We'll see how Amazon does. I don't want to say it's going to retrace off here. No trades for me at the moment, except OKLO at the moment, and keeping my eye on. Well, I was going to say NVIDIA 1050, but here it is. Did you see this?
SWIN may resume in less than a minute.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, that I was like, I'm not going to take anything off the $50 level. That's not, right? Like, but yeah, there you go. 1,049.99 HOD, so 1 penny off that level. So obviously somebody's waiting around there.
Yeah, if we bounce off 47s, that's where I would go long on VDL, because look at all these wicks into 47s. To me, that's a pretty clean look.
Well, yeah.
If we bounce off those 47s. So.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we'll have to. I don't know if we will. That's like kind of 2 picture perfect, but that's what I like. Apple, it's like Adara, this is why I said I need to stop, because I always want to try holding for moves, right? And I do appreciate everyone yesterday saying, like, there were a couple of Tesla trades where if I'd held, that would have been the right play. But then we had this Apple. I like this push, and I had the instinct to scalp out at 189.33, which would have been, yes, only like a 9 penny winner, but it would have worked. This is where we, for some reason, kept butting our head against. So I was like, you know what, Adara, just do that. Like, I think I need to understand. I want to be the type of trader that can hold things for moves, but I just know I'm not that person. And I know that's also not how I predicate my trades on scalps. I predicate my trades on ranges, right? So if that's how I have that mindset, I need to honor that mindset, I think. And so I think I just need to go back to the scalp, because if we had done back to the scalping here, we would have been out of this trade. And instead, Apple is chilling like a villain, a little bit below our area of entry, sad face. But let's see what we do. If we bounce off 10s, I'll stay in this. Initially, the goal was 40s, half the position, rest of the position out if we break above VWAP. But I don't know what we're going to do here. If I see another rejection of 33s, I'm getting out everything there. I really need to be true to myself as a trader. And it's like I said, every time I try, and believe me, I wish that I could hold for those moves. I just always feel like I paper hand them. And I just, you want to make sure you get that profit. That's always nice.
Okay.
Tesla continuing to push to the upside. I was going to keep playing that off the 60s, but I just, didn't feel 100% confident in it, which is why I didn't. But if we get a bounce off 90s here or 99s, that was an area I really liked for Tesla, so that's something I'd watch. NVIDIA, how are you doing? Oh, Tesla actually probably did give me that bounce, so okay, Tesla, I see you. Yeah, NVIDIA does not care about my 1047 level, which is fine. Apple also literally does not care about my feelings. I know stocks aren't supposed to, so it's all good. But yeah, that Tesla is, this Tesla bounce might be the one to watch, and I might have to just extricate myself from Apple, because Apple, I do not think, wants me here in any way, shape, or form. And I do think that I just needed to be scalpier with this. So Apple, you get back to 189.33s. Let's get that Steve Jobs done. That's what I want.
2 New York cents wants to know about Snow. He's like, look, it's at VWAP. What's the look here? Is it a long or short ram? And I got to tell you, it looks like it might be a long, because here's what we were doing. What happened?
Ramin told me a funny joke.
Oh, is that why she was, okay, I figured. I'm like,
funny.
why is she flipping to the thing? It went through the volume weighted average price a little bit earlier here. What time was that? Around 10:30 or so. Rejected off that level was also the 50 as well. So it kind of looked like it might have been a 50 rejection, really, because it popped back in again here and it rejected off the 50. Now that's all over. It took the 50 over here at around 11.20, and now it is pamping through the volume weighted average price. Keep your eye out for that 160 level. We had a little bit of an issue with that level earlier. That was on the move down there at 9:37 or so. This is a 1 minute look. So keep your eye on the whole the $10 level, 160. But yeah, it looks like it really has taken VWAP here. It broke above this level. And so this could be an interesting retracement. Let's do a little bit of a move using fibs. So if we were to look at fibs here and say, all right, this one really started tanking right at the bell. It missed earnings, this, that, and the other. What's the retracement percentage? So right now we're at 76.4%. So, sometimes you make it back into that 61.8. That's around 62. It looks like it's coming back down a little bit now. So we'll continue to watch Snowflake. I don't really have any trades on it at the moment. Just wanted to mention it for 2 New York cents. I'm continuing to watch NVDA and NVDL. If we get a 1050 break on a closing basis, I'm going to go long on NVDA. I've been looking to see if it, or NVDL, I've been looking to see if it kind of curls back down off that level, but it's actually putting bottoming tail candles off the previous area, the exact area that Adara was talking about, 1,047. It keeps wicking into that level and bouncing off. The equivalent area on NVDL will be around right here, 52.15, 52.16, in and around that area, and then it bounces right back up. So good luck. The monster continuing to be strong on the day, not really giving it up here at all. In fact, it's printing day's highs. So keeping an eye on that. Not much else for me at these levels. Let's flip back to Oklo, doing nothing. It's having trouble with 90 now. So that's another new observation here, that it's coming into that 10 penny level and rejecting. So possibly, oh, there is some decent size here at 102. Sorry, at 90. There's about 102 lots sitting there on one book on the New York, on the NSB. Sorry, I thought that was NYB. So we'll see if it can break above 790. If it does, it could probably really squeeze, because that's been keeping it down for a while, Adara.
Yeah, we don't want anything keeping Oklo down. Nobody can break my stride, and nobody hold me down. Uh-oh, Apple, keep on moving, like, please. But no, so I ended up staying in this because I did look at it. I was like, I think rationally, Adara, you're probably being a bit dramatic. Let's see it hit 1030, 189.33 one more time. One more time, and it did. And so now we're getting beautifully close to my first area of exit. My first that was not English. My first profit taker, 189.40. We're going to be getting half the position out there. I actually will add again if we get back to that 189.33, because I want to turn that level that I hated into a level of opportunity. Because if that was such weird resistance, I think that could also be a little bit of a support balance area. So please just punch half the position out. This is my only positive name right now, best name on the day. Yeah, not doing too badly on the day so far. Been able to mitigate these losses. Just looking for some opportunities, as always, in these here markets. Google as well. I did get a little bit chopped up on the short, but I'm really happy with how I played this. I waited until I had a clear reason to leave. I left when I wanted to. And now I'm seeing I might have an opportunity to add into the long. Because if we bounce here off these areas I liked, like these 10s, then I might have to add in a little bit, or not add in, I'm not even in the position. Might have to get into the position. But yeah, Apple right now is making me proud, which is not, something Apple does a lot. We do jokingly call this one the dead one. Nothing, not anything against the company or the stock in the long term, but just because if you look at any of its pals in mega cap land, let's look at, for example, Meta. I'm not even going to compare NVIDIA. That's not fair to compare Apple to NVIDIA right now. Look at Meta, which also if Meta bounces off VWAP, I want to trade that. Look at this Meta. Look at Tesla. Like, these will all move dollars at a time. Apple will sometimes move cents within like a half-hour period, because that was the actual experience I had where we moved less than 5 cents in either direction in a half-hour period. So this is a bit of a slow one. Swin, Brad Oldman says, yeah, I haven't. I've been having some issues with my blotter. I know this one's solid win, and I know this one has kind of had odd moves in the past. Can you see if there's anything on
I messaged him. I told him there was nothing.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, I told him I don't see anything on that. Like,
yeah,
look,
it's weird.
All I see here is halted on circuit breaker, halt paused, but nothing specific to the name. I told him, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
Looking into that. But yeah, I mean, I've seen that one move oddly in the past, that SWIN, so we'll have to see what's going on with SolarWind. Thank you, Tony, much appreciated. If we keep projecting on VWAP, we'll get everything out here, but I do like the fact that we have these higher lows. I think we could flat top break. And Sharif and I talked about this. He knows I love those flat tops. If I see a flat top, I'm like, because I want to play that range up into that point, and then I want the breakout.
SWIN may resume in less than a minute.
Rebecca Cower saying Adara should just sing the whole show. I mean, no, I probably shouldn't, but I appreciate that. I'm going to look as well for these updates on these Ethereum ETFs. So not seeing anything. U.S. lawmakers apparently urging Gensler to approve the spot Ethereum ETFs. So to clarify, we have the Van Eck deadline today. Tomorrow, we're going to be getting that ARK 21 shares deadline. That's going to be coming tomorrow as well. So we're going to have to wait and see. Apple also, I want to wait and see if you break up a VWAP. How are you doing?
I'm crazy. I'm shorting NVDL here, but I've got one more penny to get stopped out. I thought we were kind of rounding top. We'll try this, and we'll keep a tight stop until some sort of trend happens here. Short at 19, so 10 pennies out of the money on NVDL short. Call me crazy, but that's what I'm doing at these levels. Meta continuing to head higher, man. Here comes 472 on Meta. That double bottom is we're looking awfully good at this level, and That's the thing. We saw possible double bottoms on some other ones, but really Meta and Amazon are kind of the only ones really manifesting it clearly. I feel like Meta is definitely the better trade of the two. They were looking very similar earlier. Now, not so much. So we'll keep eyes on that. All right. Let's look at some of these other names that are recovering. Look at Google on the way back here into the 50 period. So Google wants to go green. So I'm going to be really interested here on Google for a possible short at 176.74 thereabouts. Reason is that is not only the pivot point, but that is the yesterday closing price on Google. Is it? Actually, yeah, there it is. So let me just move that down. So Google closed at 176, yeah, 40-ish, which is also pivots. So let's see if Google can make it all the way up there. If it can, I'm going to definitely be watching for a possible short. I'm going to put an alert to let me know if it gets into the high 30s. That's only about 20 pennies, 13 pennies away from here at the moment. So goggles on the way to possible break-even land here, down 0.09%. But yeah, we won't be jumping into that too quick there on GOOGL. I did get stopped out of that NVDL short as it broke through 31. So that was my line in the sand there at 31. So we'll watch to see if we can possibly, I don't want to short this again, man. That's just counter to my trading strategy. Go with the trend, Sharif. Go with the trend. So, and I have a little thing that Big Patty Ice gave me. Oh, really? I know you guys can't read this, Raymond. I'll go to this one. It says, don't fight the trend. I don't know if you can read that, but that's what it says. Put it on which one? Oh, yeah, okay. That's not a bad idea, Raymond. Don't fight the trend.
That's in all caps.
He meant it. He meant it, Adara. BPI on the ones and twos, baby. Always giving me a nice pre-show pep talk. Always giving Adara and I, good words of encouragement there. Before the show, after the show, it's all love on this floor, Adara.
He's your espresso bro. Yeah, your espresso bro. Yeah, Charlie Taff, we do have, asking sub. Yeah, not much. Both Apple and Tesla are sub, so I'm okay with that. But also, yeah, in terms of your question with regards to data points, we have Fed's Bostic at 3. We also do have that TIPS auction coming in at 1 p.m. So that is going to be something to watch. Nothing else, though, in terms of economic data land. Also, I want to talk about this because I'm happy with these trades. Tesla, I kept saying, oh, I like that 90 area. I like that. It's like, Darren, take the 90 area. So I took the 90 area, please just punch. If we break into 70s, that's where I would have been getting out. And when I want to say 70s, I should clarify 176 70s. Please just punch with this trade. Apple, I'm so happy I held on to this right now. We are, what are we getting this? We're almost 40 pennies in the money on Apple. Woo! So I'm pleased as punch. I want to see us break above this 60s area and hold it. If not, I'll just get out here and I'll have no qualms. But I want to appreciate, thank you so much everybody for encouraging me yesterday, just being like Adara. Sometimes you have to commit to the trades a little bit more and stay in them if you like them. And for this Apple, I did have, hoop dreams of this going a little bit higher. So I'm happy. Shout out to that movie for some reason. But, I did like this look. I don't like what we're doing now, so I'm just going to get out of this right now. In mid-50s, around 53, 54s, if we can get there. Please just punch. But really just happy that I stayed in this as long as I did. Wish I had punched out a little bit higher. It's a little bit sad, Apple. But, I'm not going to let that damp my spirit. I say Pample to Apple. Also, Shrink discovered yesterday there's a PAPL, like a Papple.
Yeah, what was that stock?
I don't even know.
Called PAPL? Pineapple Financial.
Oh, so that would be Neil's nemesis.
Neil would not bank there. No, he likes pineapple, just not on pizza.
That's true.
He's made that point. Yeah, he's told us. All right, goggles is coming into my level, and let's have a look at goggles now. So where are we at here? There it is. All right, the reason I put an alert here for
Executed.
Google, 176.42 is the closing print from yesterday. So I like this level. And it is kind of an unproven level, but we're going to go ahead and take the short at this level, and then I'm going to put my stop a smidge above VWAP. So that's going to have to give myself here about 20 pennies worth of space because VWAP on my chart is at 55s. So let's see what we get with goggles. We'll give this one the old college try, so to speak. We're short 33s. Let's go ahead and put the out at 57s, and we'll look to cover there. So we'll give it to 60 in case it gets really parabolic there. 176, right? Yeah. And yeah, we'll see there. So the other area of support is at 20. So let's go ahead and put a beak wetter for that 21 area or thereabouts. So we'll see what goggles gives us. Again, Reason I'm getting short at these levels is because it's coming into yesterday's closing print. So maybe if we can at least get a quick rejection and drop, we'd be looking there. But I'm noticing there may be the winds of change coming here on the market. So the futures just broke through that 18, let's say 18,915. There was a bit of a top there, I gotta say, right at this level over here. You can see that earlier on, 10:15. This is Central Time. Then again at 10:35 and 10:40, we had that level. We danced with it again over here. Now we're curling back up on a closing basis, breaking through it. So if that's any indication, then goggles could continue to head higher here if it moves with the market. You're also seeing that on Apple. Apple now breaking through that volume-weighted average price. VWAP on my chart is 189.50. It just printed all the way into 69s. So that is a good look. It's also putting in these higher lows. So maybe, just maybe here, the short may be over. I don't know. I'm not calling it or anything, but it'll have to prove itself. We're getting short, though, at said level on goggles. Already short at 33s. 1 penny out of the money at the moment. Adair.
BEAT.
Yeah, no, go get that Google.
Goggles.
Yeah, hope that doesn't have to Google search too hard for that level. Nice look there. TSLA is on one. It's having this bizarre wick shimmy dance. And, we'll get to I got in 176.94. I have no problem with that entry price. I like that entry price. What I don't like is the level of indecision I see on Tesla. We pop up to 177.10s. We pop down to 177. Oh, we pop up to 170. Oh, no, we're popping back down. Like Tesla, make up your mind. Sincerely, Adara. I did get out of Apple a little bit early. I'm going to be really honest. We did pop about another 15 pennies from where I got out. But I'm